Anybody has any specific query to ask? Anything? Anybody has anything to ask? Any specific query? Hello. So let's proceed. So we discussed in the last class the audit report, the format, the breakdown of the audit report, and which is an important area in the syllabus. Obviously, they are not going into very detail, which they will be going into advanced auditing and assurance. But at least the format of the audit report and what is included in the audit report should be known to the students properly before giving the exam. So whatever notes I gave in the last class, slightly some extra notes has been prepared on audit report. And it is very important that the revision should be done through these notes also. So I'm reading these notes in slowly so that you will all be able to revise, and then we will be doing some questions. The purpose of the audit. Remember that the aim of the audit is to be able to report to the members or whether or not the financial statements present fairly and company's financial position and performance. To the shareholders, members, the purpose of the audit report is to report all the planning, evaluation of internal control and substantive procedures were carried out for this purpose. For giving the report, you need to be confident, or the auditor need to think that they have done the audit properly, they have done the planning, they have done the evaluation, they have checked the internal control, they have checked the test of control, they have done the substantive procedures. And then they are coming with an audit report. It is important to briefly remind you of the possible outcomes from the audit. The outcome of the audit process. There are two sources of difficulties. Material misstatements, for which the audit report will be qualified. The material misstatements, if it is pervasive, then in that case the audit report will be adverse opinion or disclaimer of opinion. But if it is only one particular item is a material misstatement, then qualified. The outcome of the audit process, the outcome of the audit report, the outcome of the work done is material misstatement or the lack of sufficient appropriate audit evidence to give an opinion, which we say as disclaimer of opinion. We have done the audit, we find material misstatements. We did the audit, but we were not able to do the audit properly because the documents, the records, or something was not properly presented to us. So we were not able to do the work properly. If there is no material misstatement, if there is no lack of sufficient appropriate evidence, we have gathered sufficient evidence and there is no problem, we will be giving unmodified opinion. Number of these difficulties has arisen, neither, nothing. But if there is material misstatement or if there is sufficient appropriate evidence not gathered, then in that case we will be giving qualified opinion. Qualified opinion is of different category. Qualified adverse disclaimer. So qualified, one or both has arisen. That means material misstatement or the lack of sufficient appropriate evidence, one or both has arisen. The problem is material but not pervasive. That means the material item is only material in respect of one particular thing. It's not affecting the entire financials. It is affecting one particular area. Then we say qualified opinion because it is not affecting the entire statement, one area. So the problem can be isolated. The financial statement presently fair in all material respect except. You will be giving your opinion except. Adverse opinion, one or more material misstatement that are so serious so as to pervasive and so that the financial statement as a whole do not fairly present. And disclaimer of opinion where you were not able to gather the evidences. A lack of sufficient appropriate audit evidence that is so serious as to pervasive so that the auditor cannot form an opinion on the financial statement. Out of the four things, the opinion will be any one. Unqualified, qualified but not pervasive, and pervasive because of adverse or because of sufficient appropriate evidence not gathered, then disclaimer of opinion. Under the opinion heading, these things need to be explained by the auditor in the audit report. Addition to the auditor's report. Remember that there can be additions to the auditor's report that do not affect the opinion. These are material uncertainty relating to going concern. The directors of the company has already mentioned there are material problems whether the company will remain as a going concern. The auditor just needs to highlight that in a separate heading. Material uncertainty relating to going concern draws attention to material uncertainty that has adequately been disclosed by the directors. Emphasis of the matter paragraph draws attention to matters already properly disclosed in the financial statement, maybe provisioning, maybe anything. Other matter paragraph to communicate a matter that is not presented or disclosed in the financial statement, which is relevant to the users of understanding the auditor, generally legal matters or anything. Other information paragraph typically drawn attention to a statement in the director's report or chairman report. This other matter paragraph, other information paragraph will be there. In the audit report, there is chairman's statement, director's statement. We are not auditing that. We are not. But if whatever they are saying is very much inconsistent with the financials, then we need to give that information. The auditor's report for some users of financial statement. The auditor's report is the only purpose of an audit. And it's one of the few parts of the annual reporting containing the financial statements they really look at. For many persons, users, financiers, suppliers, audit report is the final outcome. They read the audit report. The auditor's report includes a clear expression of the opinion on the financial statement as a whole. The two important phrases are opinion, that there is nothing absolute here. Different forms of auditors could quite legitimately come to different opinion. Adverse, pervasive, disclaimer. Financial statement as a whole. We are not just looking at PL account or balance sheet. A statement of financial position from the statement of PL, cash flow and all that. What is important is the impression given by the financial statement in totality, not only PL. PL, balance sheet, cash flow, statement of changes in equity, notes to accounts, then disclosures, everything. The audit opinion has to be based on evidence obtained in the course of the audit. If you had to sum up the audit process in just a couple of words, the phrases would be evidence gathering. Auditors need to collect evidence that will support their opinion. Financial statement. The auditors refers to the financial statements and you need to know what are these. That is the statement of financial position, balance sheet, profit and loss account, comprehensive income, changes in equity, cash flow. It notes to the financial statement including significant policies. A director's report and chairman's report include an annual report are not part of the financial statement. However, the auditor may have reporting responsibility if the information given by the directors are inconsistent with the information in the financial statement. Content of an audit report, the title and address. Independent auditor's report, the first heading. First of all, it is clearly titled Independent Auditor's Report. That should mean that no one has any doubt about what this document is. The next states is to whom the auditors report, that is the shareholders. The auditors are reporting to the shareholders of the company. And then comes the audit opinion and identification of what has been audited. The opinion can be adverse, can be unmodified, modified, can be disclaimer. The opinion paragraph comes right at the top of the report. This state summarizes the financial statement that have been audited as listed in the previous section and the illustrated that we discussed in the last class. The illustrative report set out in section 5 of this chapter. I will say that, not section 5, set out in earlier In earlier class, includes an unmodified audit opinion which states the financial statement presently fair in all material respects, the company's financial position, financial performance, cash flows in accordance with international financial reporting standards. As appropriate depending upon the type of the opinion can be this. Under opinion, you need to mention your opinion, whether it's unmodified, whether it's modified, under modified, pervasive or not, adverse, disclaimer, that opinion need to be mentioned. And the basis of opinion is including ethics, the basic opinion that international standards on auditing has been followed by the auditor. This will refer to the compliance with ISA. Complying with ISA is key to the basis of opinion and will refer to the auditor's responsibility section. It must include an assertions of the auditor's independence and that other ethical matters that have been complied with. If the audit opinion has been modified, the explanation would be there too. As appropriate, this paragraph would be called basis of opinion, basis of qualified opinion, basis of adverse opinion, basis of disclaimer of opinion. So under both the cases, in opinion and basis of opinion, the information need to be changed, the reporting need to be changed depending upon what you have gathered. Emphasis of the matter. This paragraph is used to draw users' attention to a matters already properly disclosed in the financials. A note is stating that there had been a fire at the company's premises after the date of the statement of financial position. An emphasis of matter paragraph is not a modification of the opinion. It will state that the audit opinion is not modified in this respect. If the auditor's report also includes a key auditing matter section, the emphasis of the matter paragraph may follow that section depending on relative importance. But whatever key auditing matter, that should not be again written in the emphasis of the matter paragraph. Material uncertainty relating to the concern. A separate paragraph is now required if there is material uncertainty relating to going concern. This is covered fully in following chapter. Such a paragraph is not a modification of the I will say that in the previous chapter. Such a paragraph is not a modification of the audit opinion, provided the uncertainty has been properly disclosed by the directors. If they are not disclosing, then in that case it is an adverse opinion or something. Key audit matters. Key audit matters are those matters where of the most significance during audit. There is then a full description of these matters in accordance with ISA. This is already covered last class. Because I have again not written auditing matters. Other matter, this is if necessary to communicate matter that is not required to be presented or exclude legal matter, some special laws applicable on the company, the auditor's responsibilities, circumstances in which any other matter paragraph, where the auditor reports on two sets of financial statements prepared under different general principle, IFRS local standards, where the financial statement have been prepared for a specific purpose, and if the rare circumstances where the auditor is unable to withdraw from the engagement even though he is interested but he can't, then in that case this paragraph will be included, that is other matter paragraph, including the regulatory laws and everything. Other information paragraph, when the director's report or chairman report is inconsistent with the financials. An audit covers the financial statement but does not cover a director's report. What if the directors contain something that conflicts with the financial statement? The audit opinion cannot be modified because it does not cover the director's report. But perhaps the shareholder need to be alerted regarding that. Then the auditor will be writing that. Management responsibility, they will be saying they have prepared the financials as per financial reporting framework. The next section, they have given all the information to the auditor, that the management responsibility. Very important, and points out that it is management responsibility to prepare financial statement in accordance with IFRS to maintain the system of internal control, consider the going concern. Auditor responsibility, The auditor responsibility are to obtain reasonable assurance about whether the financial statement as a whole are free from material misstatement, whether due to fraud or error, and to issue an auditor's report that includes their opinion. Reasonable assurance is high level of assurance, but not a guarantee that an audit conducted with ISA will always detect all material misstatement. Misstatement can arise from fraud, error, or collusion. Individually or in aggregate, they could reasonably be expected to influence economic decisions of the users. And then finally, the date, address, and signature. Finally, the auditor must sign the report and must give the address and date at which it is signed. The date of the report is very important because before the date, the auditor has an active duty. The audit is not yet over. The auditor should still be investigating whether receivables are being paid and inventory is selling at above cost. After the date, the auditor don't have active duty, passive duty only. This means that auditor is on the lookout for events affecting the truth and fairness, but if any brought to his attention, then only. That communicating key auditing matters. What are those matters? The first thing to note in the key auditing matters report is the key in respect of listed company. Non-listed we can, but listed jarur. The auditor shall determine from the matters communicated to those charged with governance that require significant auditor attention. In making these, the auditor shall take into account areas of high risk matters, significant auditor's judgment, where involved judgment, provisions, assets valuation anywhere, the effect on the audit of significant events and transactions which are affecting the financials very much. Selects one those whose of most significance in the audit of financial statement, therefore are key matters. Key audit matters are therefore identified by starting with all matters communicated to CW, determining the matters that require significant auditor's attention, most significant areas of the key audit. If the auditor disclaims an opinion on the financial statement, when he disclaims, when he is not able to check because the information are not given to him, that is very rarely, there will be no key auditing matter section in the auditor's report because the auditor has not obtained evidences. आप की ऑडिटिंग मैटर तभी बताओगे ना जब आपने चेक किया. जब आपने चेक ही नहीं किया, how you will be saying key auditing matters? So if disclaimer of opinion is given, then the key auditing matter will not be there. Even in the listed company also, the key auditing matter will be there when the disclaimer of opinion is not there. Because you have checked, you have verified, you have gathered the evidences, and these are the key matters. But if you have not checked, you were not given the proper records, verification and all that, then in that case, key auditing matter heading will not be there in the audit report. What we discussed in the last class was more detailed. This is just a summary of what we discussed in the last class. Title, Independent Audit Report, addressee, the shareholders, auditor's opinion, qualified, unqualified, adverse, disclaimer, basis of opinion, including the opinion that is ethics, principles, ISAs and all that. We followed key auditing matters in listed company, must, in non-listed not there, but you can. In key auditing matters will not be there if you are having disclaimer of opinion. Other information relating to any other area, other information relating to the chairman's statement, director's statement, if they are inconsistent, responsibility of management, they have the responsibility to prepare the books of accounts, provide the records, auditor responsibility, they have done the audit properly. Other reporting responsibilities are generally required when a separate law is applicable. Name of the engagement partner, the auditor, his signature, address where he can be reached, and then the date. That is there the format of the audit report, not only in UK. It is there in India, Mao Karo. It is there in US audit report also. ये सब जगह यही है. Obviously, थोड़ा बहुत, if I will say that specific business, specific laws are there, then the audit report changes are there. But abhi in auditing and assurance, they are not incorporating audit report for a specific type of organizations, a specific type of industry. That is there in advanced auditing and assurance. That is there in Indian syllabus, CA, CWA, that is there in in ACCA also, but that is in advance. Abhi here, Whether it's a private company, public company, not for profit, anybody, audit report format is one. That a general format, we should be knowing what is included in the audit report and how the audit report is written. One second. Doing some questions relating to this. 439, around 470. Three number, four number question we did in the last class. I am doing 5 number. You are about to issue the auditor's report for X company, a listed client, a listed company. We are going to report. Halfway through the year, the company suffered a major computer system failure. During the year, half year later, they suffered a computer failure. You can say ERP system destroyed, which destroyed the accounting records for the year to date. That means the 6 months records destroyed. Backup had not been kept. That means we were not able to check the things. And so the company has had to reconstruct the figures for the first 6 months. So backups are not there. The figures were constructed by the organization with whatever records they have. Which opinion are most appropriate for E company? Whether it's unqualified, whether it's qualified, if it is not pervasive, if it is qualified and pervasive, then whether it's adverse or whether it's disclaimer. What do we say? There is no confusion. Because it is we are not able to check the records. So how we will be able to give our opinion? So it is qualified. We can't say that the financials of the company provide true and fair view, because they does not provide. Why we are saying this? Because we have not been able to check the records. The records were destroyed. It's not a problem with the company also. One problem is there, they have not kept the backup. They should have. But still, since we have not been able to check, then in that case, disclaimer. Now, in this case, key auditing matter will not come. Because you will say audit key matter. How you will say key matter when you have not checked? So for that reason, in this case, listed company key auditing matters heading will not be there in the audit report. What is the purpose of basis of opinion paragraph in an auditor's report which contains an unmodified opinion? Now, actually, this is we are going to give modified opinion, but the question 2 number is not exactly related with the scenario. What is the purpose of basis for opinion in an auditor's report which contains an unmodified opinion? You don't have to see the option. We need to be knowing that if we are giving basis of opinion, then what are the things covered in basis of opinion? Whether it's modified, whether it's unmodified, whatever. What is the thing we cover in the basis of opinion? The 2-3 things major we covered in basis of opinion. International standards on auditing we have followed. Laws and regulations and ethics. We have done our duty based on the ethical principles and all that. So that they are asking, whatever option which is written properly, yes, sufficient appropriate evidence gathered for conducting the audit, and we have followed international standards on auditing, and we have done our duty as per ethical principles. What is the purpose of the basis of opinion paragraph in an auditor's report which contains an unmodified opinion. To state the opinion on the financial statement. To state the opinion on the financial statement is opinion, not basis of opinion. To confirm the audit has been conducted in accordance with ISAs and ethical requirements. Looking good. To highlight a material uncertainty relating to going concern which has been adequately disclosed. That is not under basis of opinion, that is a separate paragraph. Material uncertainty relating to going concern, like that. To highlight management responsibility to the users of the financial statement. To highlight management's responsibility to the users of the financial statements. That is under management responsibility heading. So last one is management responsibility heading. C is a separate heading. First one is opinion. The B number is basis of opinion. Can we say that if there is, what I should say, if there is modified opinion, then also answer is B? Can we, they are saying that it's unmodified opinion. But if it is modified opinion, then also answer is B. Can we say? Because here there is no purpose whether it is modified or unmodified. It is just that in basis of opinion what we cover, that is B. So it is not related exactly with the scenario, it is a general knowledge question. Which of the following shows the correct order of the elements to be included in the auditor's report? First of all, title, addressee, then what do you say, opinion, then basis of opinion, then key auditing matters, then other things, then management responsibility and all that. Order. Which of the following shows the correct order of the elements to be included in the auditor's report? Opinion, date, but the date will come at the end. Title, ठीक है? Opinion, but then again coming signature, that is coming later. Addressee, first title then addressee, ठीक है? Title they are not writing opinion, ठीक है? Then basis of opinion they are not writing auditor's responsibilities. Chalega, C number is answer. There are many things which are missing, which we can see, because it's title, addressee, auditor's opinion, basis of opinion, key auditing matters, other information, responsibility of management, auditor responsibility, other responsibility, name of the engagement partner, signature, auditor, address, and this. All the things are not written here, but at least this is in the order. Addressee, after that opinion, after that basis of opinion not written, after that there are other things, key auditing matters and all that, that is not written. After that there is management responsibility, लेकिन auditor responsibility order में है, और उसके बाद last में date. Then again missing figures are signature and all that, but at least it is in the order. This is again a general question, not related with the scenario. Which of the following describes the wording of a disclaimer of opinion? The financial statement give a true and fair, that is unmodified opinion. The financial statement do not give a true and fair view. That is not disclaimer, you need to explain. The auditor does not express an opinion on the financial statement. Yes, see, because disclaimer means I have not done the audit, I didn't get the information, I didn't able to check, so how I will give opinion? Except for the matter described, the financial statement give a true and fair view. When this will be written? Except for the matter described, the financial statement give a true and fair view. When this is written? Qualified. The financial statement do not give a true and fair view. When this is written? Adverse. What a lovely. So point number A is qualified. Point number B is adverse. Point number C is disclaimer. And point number D is qualified. All 4 points are written. So question can be anything in the exam. This question is about adverse opinion. Which of the following statement is correct in relation to the auditor's report of E company? The key auditing matter section should be used. होएगा ही नहीं. Because this is based on scenario, they have said that they have not been able to check the records. So for that reason, key auditing matter should be used to describe. होएगा ही नहीं, पढ़ना ही नहीं है. If a disclaimer of opinion is to be issued, the key auditing matter section should not be included in the auditor's report, as to do so may suggest other aspects of financial statements are reliable. Yes, this is going to be the answer, but let me read others also. An emphasis of the matter paragraph should be included to draw attention to the inability to obtain sufficient appropriate evidence. Emphasis of matter may matter is already disclosed in the, you need to emphasize that. So that is not there. The auditor will conclude that the financial statement do not give a true and fair view. That he will say in adverse opinion. So the answer is B only. Since we were not able to gather the evidences, a disclaimer of opinion is to be issued. The key auditing matters should not be included in the auditor's report, as to do so may suggest other aspects of financial statements are reliable. But we can't give guarantee or assurance on reliability of anything because we have not been able to check the records. Another question. You are about to issue the auditor's report for two listed clients, K company and C company. That means at a time they are giving audit report for two clients, K and C. The financial statements show the following. Figures are in thousands. K company, C company, profit before tax 10,000, 2,45,000, total assets 23 lakh, 65 lakh. So C company is a bigger company than K company, but we are the auditor of both the company. Concreted misstatements, uncorrected misstatements. Overstatement of receivables due to an irrecoverable debt not being written off. Overstatement of receivable due to an irrecoverable debt not being written off. Receivables are not shown properly. They are shown 15,000 more, but the receivable balance would be 15,000 less. This is they are mentioning uncorrected misstatements, not yet rectified. Overstatement of inventory due to failure to value at lower of cost or NRV. Inventory value is 85,000 more because inventory is not valued some of the inventory at cost or NRV, whichever is lower. So overstatement of receivable is there, overstatement of inventory is there. In one company receivable, in another company inventory. Which of the following is most appropriate opinion for K company? First one. For K company, the opinion will be adverse, the opinion will be disclaimer, the opinion will be qualified, the opinion will be unmodified. Adverse. Why? Why the opinion will be adverse? Reason for giving adverse opinion. We need to check first of all materiality. Now material means greater than 5% of Pbt, greater than 1% of assets, greater than 0.5% of turnover. So here Pbt is 10, 5% of 10. Here total assets 2300, 1% of 2300. And revenue not given, 0.5% of revenue. Out of the three, the lowest level. The lowest level will be treated as material level for the exam. In practical life, there is no percentage like that. Now this is coming 15, which is even greater than 100% of Pbt. So it is material. Now whether it is pervasive, the pervasive means it is not affecting a single item in the financials, it is affecting the most of the financial statements. We discussed in the last class when the loss is converted into gain, gain is converted into loss. That is normally treated as pervasive. So here the 10,000 loss, 10,000 gain. If we record 15,000 provision, then in that case gain will be converted into loss. Profit converted into loss, loss converted into profit is a pervasive item. So since it is material and since it is pervasive, for that reason adverse opinion. Similarly for the second one, whether they are asking or not. For C company, what opinion we will be giving? For C company, what opinion we will be giving? Adverse, disclaimer, modified, unmodified. Unqualified, I mean to say. For C company. Here it is 85 into 45 is greater than 5%. So it is material. But whether it is adverse, whether it is pervasive, not looking. Because it is overstatement of a particular inventory. inventory balance is not correct. But the other financial statements are not saying anything that they are not correct. So it is one-sided error. That means it is material but not pervasive. So we will be giving qualified opinion relating to C company, not any adverse or disclaimer or anything. They are asking only. Most appropriate opinion is a qualified opinion for the C company. If the misstatement of inventory had been 10,000 instead of 85,000, they are saying that this figure is 10,000 in place of 85. 2,45,000, 5% each 12,500. 10,000 is less than that. And 65 lakh 1% is 65,000. It is 10,000 less than that. So now it is not material. Now we will be giving a qualified opinion. We will be suggesting the organization they rectify the inventory. But even though if they don't rectify the inventory, we will give qualified opinion because it is not pervasive. Sorry, we will be giving unmodified opinion. Sorry. We will not be giving qualified opinion. We will be giving nothing is wrong. The financial statements of the company provide true and fair view. If the misstatement of inventory 10,000, what is the most appropriate? Unmodified opinion. Yes, yes. Qualified, so we will be giving when it is material. It is not qualified. It is unqualified or unmodified, whatever you say. You have also identified a material uncertainty related to going concern during your audit of K company. You have also identified a material uncertainty relating to going concern during your audit of K company. Material uncertainty relating to going concern. So we will be making a separate paragraph. This has been adequately disclosed. Management ne chupaya nahi hai. They have disclosed. So we will make a paragraph in the audit report. Material uncertainty relating to going concern. Highlighting that. Not under emphasis of matter. Not other key matter. Under separate heading. This has been adequately disclosed. How will this impact the auditor's report? The report should include a section titled emphasis of matter. No, sir. The report should include a section titled material uncertainty relating to going concern, which will refer to the management disclosure note. Yes, B is the answer. The report should include a section titled going concern issues, which will refer to the management disclosure note. No. Material uncertainty relating to going concern, you will emphasize on the fact that it is given by the directors, but still auditor has a responsibility. As management has adequately disclosed the uncertainty relating to going concern, the auditor does not need to regard to, no sir, they need to record. They have to give the material uncertainty related to going concern, importance of this, and they will explain it is properly disclosed. What is the uncertainty he need to mention? Included within the financial statement of C company, second company, is a provision for legal case of which the outcome is uncertain at this date. Adequate disclosures of the matter has been included by management. Provision is there in the PL account balance sheet. Disclosures is there in the notes to accounts. But the decision of the case will be happening next year. The case represents a significant uncertainty and you have included an emphasis of the matter in the auditor's report to refer to the client's disclosure of the uncertainty. Emphasis of the matter paragraph is included. Under that you have included this provision. What other implications will there be the auditor's report, if any, in respect of this matter? The opinion should be modified and they have not written anything, any modification required. No further reporting implications. Looking good. The key matter section, no. Something which is in key matter will not be there in emphasis of the matter. Double bar nahi likhna hai. The basis for opinion section should describe the uncertainty. The basis of opinion should be describing the uncertainty if it is adverse or something. Otherwise, why the basis? I will go with no further reporting implications, but I am not sure. The opinion should be modified. No. No further reporting implications. Looking good. The key auditing matter, when it is already under emphasis of matter, key auditing matter not required. Sure C is not the answer. Sure A is not the answer. The basis of opinion, answer is B. Sure. Because in basis of opinion, you will give qualified, you will give adverse or a disclaimer opinion. You will not say any provision amount in the basis of opinion. Unless and until it is material, वो भी आप opinion में बोलोगे. So no further reporting implications once it is included in the, what I should say, once it is included in the emphasis of the matter. Under that is included, nothing is required. Just want to check this. 5B. No further reporting implications. The key audit matter section should not describe matters already described in an emphasis of the matter paragraph. The basis for opinion section would not describe matters giving rise to modified opinion. As management has included the provision and disclosures of the legal case in the notes to accounts, there is no reason to modify audit opinion. जब already management ने सब कुछ बताया ही है, they have made a provision, they have disclosed in the notes to accounts, they have explained it, then why the auditor will modify the report? If the director has fulfilled their responsibility, the financial statements give a true and fair view, then why the auditor will say? Nothing to be said, no modification required by the auditor, nothing. Just this is an important matter, so auditor has explained this in the emphasis of the matter already. If we do some questions from here, exam kit, reviewing and reporting, question number 141 onwards, question page 59, around 70-75. Question 141. Review and reporting. The following scenario relates to the question 141 to 145. It is 1st July 2015. V company is a manufacturer of shoes. You are an audit manager in C and company. The company manufactures shoes, say Bata India, and you are an audit manager in C company, and you are performing an overall review of the financial statements for the year ended 31st March 2015 prior to the issue of the auditor's report. We do the overall review when we start the audit, analyzing the risk, planning the audit, and we do at the end also review that whether we have missed anything. So you are performing an overall review of the financial statement for the year ended prior to the issue of the report. Audit is completed. Before issuing the report, you are doing the overview of the financial statement. Profit before tax for the year ended 131.4 million. Last year 120.9 million. So the company's PBT current year audit period is 131.4. Last year it was 120.9 PBT. Analytical procedures. As part of your overall review, you have performed analytical procedures over the draft financial statements and have noted that the trade receivable collection period is lower than it was during the interim audit performed in January 2015. So you are doing analytical procedures, some ratio calculation. In that ratio, you are calculating receivable collection period. And the receivable collection period is lower as compared to what it was in January when you did interim audit. In the March ending, it is coming lower than what it was in January. You are aware that the credit controller of E company left the company in February 2015. There must be a person as a credit controller in the company left the job in February 15. And that the directors have said that as a result, the company is experiencing difficulties in debt collection. And the director communicated you that the company is facing problems in collecting money from customers. Is this portion, the second paragraph, is not contradicting with the first, these three lines? यहां बोल रहे हैं कि हम लोग का रिसीवेबल गिर गया है, माने हम लोग पैसे जल्दी कलेक्ट कर रहे हैं, और यहां बोल रहे हैं द क्रेडिट कंट्रोलर हैज लेफ्ट, द डायरेक्टर सेड दैट वी आर नॉट एबल टू कलेक्ट मनी. So it is difference in the Kathani and Karni. It is difference in what the directors are saying and what the records are saying. There is some ghapla chances are there. When the credit controller has left, the directors are saying that they are not able to collect properly, then the receivable period should be going up. Why it should be going down? As an auditor, skepticism. We need to maintain skepticism always, not accepting. That means before giving the report, even though we have completed the audit, कुछ तो करना होएगा, checking करना होएगा कुछ. During the year, we company revalued its head office as part of our review. The company did revaluation of their assets. You are considering the detail which is disclosed in the property, plant and equipment note in the draft financial statements. Those who studied earlier financial accounting, financial reporting, आयुष, एलीन, अद्रिजा मेरे को आपका नहीं याद है, सौम्यजीत, you are giving financial reporting. So I will say Ayush, can you explain in the class the entire process relating to revaluation? Not with this question. As a knowledge, everybody will get. कुछ थोड़ा बहुत ध्यान है? आयुष खंडेलवाल जी. If there is a revaluation of assets in an organization, what is the accounting provision relating to that? Yes, sir, no issue. I don't want journal entry explanation. I want such explanation so that everybody in the class will be able to understand that what is actually revaluation. Aline, can you say? Aline, can you say? Aline, you are giving both the exams, na? FR and AA. Let me explain, don't worry. When I am taking the class, there are one computer, there are two laptops, there is a camera, there is a place, property, furniture. All are my fixed assets, non-current assets. All are there in my balance sheet. Statement of financial position, balance sheet, they are there. Computer, laptop, camera, land, building, plant, machinery, everything is there. At what value they are recorded in the balance sheet? The price at which I acquired them 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years back, minus the accumulated depreciation of these years. That means they are in the balance sheet at carrying value. Carrying value means the cost minus the accumulated depreciation till date. But specifically if I will talk about property, I purchased this property around 15, 17 years back. At that time, I paid say around 2 crore. But presently, the value of the property, maybe Corona, is greater than 8 crore. Maybe if I will sell, then maybe I will not be getting 8 crore, maybe I will be getting 7 crore. So the property value is 2 crore to 7 crore. Can I record 7 crore in the books of accounts, the property value? I can. I can record the revalued figure. I don't want to record on historical cost. I want to record revalued figure in the books. Organization need to decide whether they want to record assets in the balance sheet, assets in the books of accounts at historical cost or at revalued figure. The organization will take the call whether they want to follow revaluation principle or they want to follow historical cost principle. If you decide that you follow revaluation, then the revaluation cannot be done by you on its own. Revaluation need to be done by a certified valuer. I said that my property value is 7 crore. I cannot record 7 crore in the books. I need to appoint somebody who is certified valuer in the property valuation. He will be giving me a certificate by analyzing the market, property condition and all that. Then that value I can record. Suppose he is giving me a certificate of 7 crore. Then I can record. The second thing, I cannot do revaluation of one individual asset. Whatever property Saraf Academy has, all the property need to be fair valued, need to be revalued. Not computer, laptop. A particular class of assets, all the assets in that class need to be revalued. You can't do a single property revaluation. All the assets in the class need to be revalued. Revaluation will be done every year or will be done on particular time. There is nothing written in the accounting that revaluation need to be done at what period. But normally when we want to record value of assets in the books at revalued figure, fair value, then the value which we will be recording in the books should not be significantly different than the actual fair value in the market. So whenever we find that the value which we are recording in the books after the revaluation is very significantly different than the fair market value, then at that time we need to do the revaluation again and again. Whether it will be annually, whether it will be 2-year break, whether it will be 5-year break, I don't know. But it should be done revaluation regularly when we find that the value in the books is not representing the fair value. Significant difference is there. Not every year you will do revaluation. अब अभी 7 crore next year 7.1 crore हो गया, नहीं करना है. That is not a significant difference. I will be doing revaluation if I like. I will be doing revaluation through a certified valuer. I will be doing revaluation of the entire class of assets. And I will be doing revaluation with what interval depends upon situation. The revalued figure will be recorded in the books. The property value is 1 crore, but the revalued figure is 7 crore, 6 crore. 6 crore gain cannot be recorded in PL account as a gain. The 6 crore is a non-realized gain. Non-realized gain losses are recorded in the PL account. There is separate parts. One is realized income PL, one is non-realized income, other comprehensive income. Under other comprehensive income, we will be recording 6 crore revaluation gain. And in the balance sheet, it will not be a part of retained earning. It will be treated as revaluation reserve, a separate reserve. But after revaluation, depreciation will be charged on 7 million. After revaluation, the depreciation will be considered on the revalued figure. This I said an example, revaluation up. There can be revaluation down also. Revaluation down is not depreciation. You are doing revaluation of this computer laptop I am doing. And the certified valuer said that the value which you are recording in the books, that does not command this value. The value is less. That is also revaluation. But decrease in the value, I will charge to PL account. I will consider as a realized loss. Even though I have not sold this computer, but I will record them as a loss in the PL account. And after revaluation, I will consider the fresh value, balance value for depreciation purpose. If an asset is revalued up in 1 year, because when you follow revaluation, you need to regularly follow revaluation, not every year, maybe in a gap of 2 years, 3 years. So suppose the property value gone up from earlier to now 7 minus 1, 6 crore. Again, after 2 years, when I am doing the revaluation, I found that the market value is very significantly different. Then the value is less than 7 crore. The value is 6 crore. Now there is decrease in the value of the property after 2 years. This 2 crore will not be charged to PL account. Why? Because this is the same property which was valued up 2 years back, 6 crore, and recorded in other comprehensive income, recorded as revaluation reserve. So the loss in the valuation on the same asset will not be recorded in PL. It will be adjusted from the revaluation reserve created earlier. From the revaluation which was created earlier, it will be adjusted from there. So if first time you are doing revaluation down, loss recorded in PL. First time you are doing revaluation up, gain, but not in PL, other comprehensive income. If the same asset which is revalued up in 1 year, revalued down in subsequent year, then that down will be adjusted from revaluation, not recorded in PL account. In auditing, we are not concerned with journal entry. In auditing, we need to concern with general principles relating to valuation. And in other than valuation, depreciation should be recorded, whether it's a normal wear and tear or whatever. Somebody will say that the asset at the beginning and at the end of the year, it is kept very well, so no depreciation. We have to charge depreciation. We have to follow the accounting principles. We have to make a schedule in the notes to accounts relating to all the different class of assets, the original cost, revaluation, depreciation, accumulated depreciation, purchase, sale and all that. That is normal. But revaluation part is slightly different, or I will say difficult. But in auditing exam, they are thinking that the student knows about basic understanding of recording of non-current assets. Earlier also, when we discussed in substantive procedures or in audit procedures, there also the non-current assets was written. But still, that same thing need to be remembered here. If there is any problem with the recording of the non-current assets, the auditor need to qualify, the auditor need to check, the auditor need to verify. He will be able to verify when he knows what is the correct thing. Then only he will be able to verify whether the non-current assets are understated, overstated, what type of substantive procedures we will follow, that the auditor need to decide. So they are talking about disclosures. Under disclosure, head office is revalued. You are considering the detail which is disclosed in the property. No problem. लेकिन जैसे जैसे हम लोग अभी 15 days classes करेंगे, then whatever the things which are required relating to what I should say, accounting part, I will be go on revising for your type of person. Those who are straight away doing auditing paper, थोड़ा सा वो बताते रहना पड़ेगा. They have given a separate topic as important international accounting standards, IFRS. But उसको वैसे मैं discuss करूंगा, feeling नहीं आएगा. So when I will be doing questions, I will be go on discussing them. There are 6-7 which are important. Provisions, non-current asset, this one, revaluation, intangible assets. कुछ है जो important है, जिसको हम लोग coming classes में, when the questions will start, at that time I will explain, so that we will be able to correlate better. In place of just opening the topic and discussing them will not be logical. We will be discussing wherever the requirement comes continuously. और अपने आप, when we do 2-3 mock papers, all will be covered. All will be covered. So this is IS 16 property, plant and equipment relating to mainly revaluation, the principles of revaluation, because they have written something. The company has done the revaluation of the head office. You are considering the detail which is disclosed in the property, plant and equipment. तो आपको मालूम होना चाहिए कि revaluation up होने से, down होने से, what happens, how it is recorded, what is the policy relating to revaluation, who do the revaluation, and all that knowledge should be there. Obviously, अगर मैं आपकी जगह आयुष होता और मान लीजिए मैंने 2 महीने 3 महीने पहले I studied IS 16, I will not be able to recollect. Why I am able to recollect? Because I am doing daily. So it's not that I am more brainy than anybody of you, just an experience. Daily मेरा काम है किसी ना किसी को accounts कहीं ना कहीं पढ़ाना. तो normally अब दिमाग से निकलेगा नहीं, इतना हो गया. Like Prakash Saraf, I remember this. So it's not that anybody should be feeling down कि you are not able to recollect. आप कोई भी चीज पढ़ रहे हो, recollect कैसे करोगे? लेकिन we need to understand that whatever some basic accounting is there, that is relevant in the auditing exam. For that reason, I say that only 2 subjects are slightly related, FR and auditing. Any other subject, no relation with each other in ACCA skill level. PM totally separate, FM totally separate, taxation totally separate, and law totally separate. Only these 2 subjects, financial reporting and auditing, has some relationship. So if the student or anybody is targeting 2 exams together, financial reporting and auditing is very well combination. It will complement each other. Okay. Your review also includes uncorrected statements. These are uncorrected. Your review also includes an assessment of uncorrected misstatements. These have been recorded by the audit team as follows. Your review also includes an assessment of uncorrected misstatement. These have been recorded by the audit team as follows. While doing review, you find that these are the uncorrected things. Interest payable omitted in error. Interest payable not recorded. Additional allowance for receivable not recorded. Error in sales invoice processing resulting in errors in sales invoice processing resulting in understatement of sales. Income not recorded. Write-off in respect of faulty goods. So first, second and fourth are reduction in the income. And third number is enhancement in the income. But they have not yet been rectified. Just give me 1 second. Coming, 1 second. So these are the 4 errors which are not yet rectified in the financials. While doing review, we find that ये सब rectify करना है. And if they are not rectified and they are material, then the audit report need to be adverse or whatever comes. Faulty goods. Relating to this, they are saying the adjustment for the faulty goods listed as an uncorrected statement above relates to an entire batch of shoes. There are a particular batch of shoes which has fault, which was produced 12th March 2015. That means before 31st March, 18 days back. The audit work concluded that the cost of this inventory exceeded its net realizable value by 2.9 million. Since they have fault, so they will be able to sell at less than the cost, and the realizable value as compared to cost will be 2.9 million less. That means 2.9 million inventory value should be reduced. The directors dispute the audit team's figures and believe that the realizable value of the inventory still exceeds its cost. लेकिन डायरेक्टर लोग बोल रहे हैं फॉल्ट होने के बावजूद we will be able to sell at cost or more than cost, so there is no loss. That means in this point, the views of the directors and the views of the auditor are not same. They are fighting with each other. So big information given. First is, we are just on the verge of giving the report, profit information. This will be used to analyze the materiality of the item because assets value and all that not given. Then the second, during doing analytical procedures, the receivable collection period should be higher, but it is lower, and these are the director's comment. Then we can say that there is some revaluation of the property also, office building. Relating to that, disclosures are given by in the financial statements. Then these are the uncorrected statements where is interest, allowance, sales, and faulty goods. And then they are asking 5 questions. Good. Which of the following would form part of the auditor's overall review of the financial statement? Which of the following would form part of the auditor's? This question one student asked me. He generally do recordings. Ronak Preet Singh. Very good student. Always scored 70 plus in all the skill level paper. always scored 80 plus in knowledge level paper. So he asked this question to me, so I remember. Which of the following would form? That means he is doing these questions also. Everybody understand. Which of the following would form part of the auditor's overall review of the financial statement? Which of the following would form part of the auditor's overall review of the financial statement? Overall review करने का main purpose क्या है? Which of the following would form part of the auditor's overall review of the financial statement? Establishing whether the preconditions for an audit are present. Establishing whether the preconditions for an audit are present. Assessing whether the information and explanations obtained during the audit are adequately reflected. Performing a detailed review of the audit working papers to ensure the work has been performed properly. Reviewing the adequacy of the disclosures of the accounting policies. When you are giving the audit report, before giving the audit report, you are reviewing. So what is the basic purpose of your reviewing? Because that is the first paragraph they have mentioned in the question. On 1st July, you are performing overall review for the year ended 31st March so that you can give an auditor's report. Which of the following would form part of the auditor's overall review of the financial statement? Establishing whether the preconditions for an audit are present. Establishing whether the preconditions for an audit are present. Whether this is correct. I think this will be done when you are taking the audit. जब आप ऑडिट करने जाओगे, स्टार्ट करोगे, तब प्री कंडीशन को चेक करोगे ना. अभी काम करने के बाद प्री कंडीशन कैसे चेक करोगे? ये तो उटपटांग हो गया. So 1 number is not the answer guarantee. That means option 1 and option this is not the answer. That means 2 number और 3 number आंसर नहीं है. नो ऐसा बोल सकते हैं क्या? सॉरी, 1 number जहां है तो 2 और 3 तो आंसर हो सकता है. सॉरी. We can say that first and second is not the answer. 3, 4 or 2, 4 mixtures are there. Assessing whether the information and explanation obtained during the audit are adequately reflected. Assessing whether the information and explanations obtained during the audit are adequately reflected. I think this is correct. कि हमने ऑडिट करके बहुत सारा चीज पता लगाया. नो प्रॉब्लम, नो इश्यू आशीष. बिकॉज इट मे बी नॉट पावर कट, इट मे बी कोई इंटरनेट जा सकता है यार, कभी भी हो सकता है कुछ भी. नो इश्यू. Assessing whether the information and explanation obtained during the audit are adequately reflected. I did the audit for 2-3 months. I gathered evidences and all that. And then I said the organization, they should be doing this, that. They have done or not. I need to check. Adequately reflected. So 2 number is definitely going to be the answer. तो 2 number इसके साथ है और 2 number इधर है. फिर तो आंसर 2 और 4 ही होना पड़ेगा यार. Because और तो 2 है नहीं. Performing a detailed review of audit working papers to ensure the work has been properly performed. So his question was there, sir, this 3 number is also the correct. Why they are not taking 3 number? Anybody can say the justification. Answer is 2 and 4, I remember. But 3 number answer क्यों नहीं है? That was his confusion. Performing a detailed review of the audit working papers to ensure the work has been properly performed. बहुत बढ़िया क्वेश्चन है. डिटेल्ड से कारण. अभी जब आप रिपोर्ट देने वाले हो तो क्या आप डिटेल्ड रिव्यू करोगे क्या? डिटेल्ड रिव्यू यू विल बी डूइंग अर्लियर, नॉट एट द टाइम ऑफ गिविंग रिपोर्ट. परफॉर्मिंग रिव्यू ऑफ द ऑडिट वर्किंग पेपर्स टू इंश्योर वर्क हैज बीन परफॉर्म्ड प्रॉपरली. डिटेल्ड वर्ड को हटा दे तो ये सही है. परफॉर्मिंग अ रिव्यू. Overall review is given in the question. That is given here also. Overall review. But here it is wrong because it is word detailed. When you have done your auditing and all that, you are on the verge of giving report. अभी detailed review करने का समय नहीं है. फिर तो आपने audit किया ही नहीं. Performing a detailed review of the working papers to ensure work has been performed. That तो you should have done earlier. उसके बाद आप review करने जाओगे. तो इसीलिए detailed word is wrong. Reviewing the adequacy of the disclosures of accounting policies. कि whatever proper disclosure need to be given, are they disclosed? so that you can give your audit report for that reason 2 and 4. It's a very tricky question. Because it is actually playing with the English language. That is the question. As compared to technicality, English language पे ध्यान देना है. क्योंकि मेरे को भी लगा यार तीनों ठीक है, तो आंसर खाली 2 और 4 क्यों है, मेरे को ऐसे ही लगा था. फिर मैंने ध्यान दिया ये लैंग्वेज पे. I concentrated on the language that when you are just on the verge of giving the report, you can't do the detailed review. That is not possible. Because then the work will not complete. You have a time frame to give the audit report and all that. Getting everybody? Which of the following is a valid explanation of the inconsistency between the results of the analytical procedures on trade receivables and the director's statement regarding debt collection? The second story which they have given, that the receivable period should be going up, but they are saying going down. The calculations are showing going down, whereas the directors are saying that the collection is not happening properly. Which of the following is a valid explanation for inconsistency between results of analytical procedures on trade receivables and the director's statement regarding debt collection problem? A change in the sales mix towards high value products, an increase in the proportion of cash sales since February 2015, an increase in the rate of sales tax in March 2015, sales growth of 1% per month over the year. अगर सेल्स ग्रोथ है और अगर इन we are not able to collect, then to in that case the ratio should be greater. That is the, they are saying which of the following is not the reason. Which of the following is a valid explanation for inconsistency? Inconsistency के लिए valid चीज क्या हो सकता है? I think this cannot be valid, because if the sales is going up, then to inconsistency is there. Sales tax, why not? This can be the answer. An increase in the rate of sales tax. Sales tax is not a part of sale. Sales tax is an indirect tax. आप लोग जो मेरे को ट्यूशन फीस देते हैं, my income is not whatever money I receive from you. 18% gone to government. Only 82% of whatever I receive, that is there with me. That need to be covered with expenditures and all that. A change in the sales mix towards, sales mix change हुआ तो क्या हुआ? High value products are more sold, more credit period should be there. But if there is more and more cash sales, then it may be possible that the receivable period gone down. Because credit sale हमने किया ही नहीं, so debtors balance will reduce. This can be the logical reason for discrepancies. And if this is not there, then to सच्ची में discrepancy are there. Then in that case, the auditor should need to, before giving the audit report, need to be confirmed. Because if the cash sales are there, then why the debtors will change? और पुराने वाले debtors pay कर दिए, तो receivable collection period has gone down. That is a valid explanation. Which of the following details should be disclosed in respect of revaluation of head office if the auditor is to conclude that the disclosures are adequate? Revaluation company has done. What should be included in the disclosures for revaluation? Effective date, name of the valuer, the amount of the revaluation increase, carrying amount of the head office under the cost model. Name of the valuer नहीं लिखा जाता है. We need to say effective date. Why? Because from that date the depreciation will be charged on revalued figure. The amount of revaluation, that it is not a realized gain, it is a non-realized gain. Carrying amount of the head office under the cost model, because earlier carrying amount is this, but after revaluation the value is this. That need to be disclosed. और कुछ होता है क्या? Two number is not there, but is there any other further disclosures required? I will say that the write-up is like that. The company decided to record the assets, property, plant and property on revalued figure. They have appointed an independent valuer to revalue the building, property. The revaluation has done the revalued figure as this, and the certified valuer as this. That is accounted for in the books of accounts. On this date, the revaluation is done and the depreciation on the basis of revalued figure is recorded in the books of accounts. That way. तो कौन सा डेट आपने रीवैल्यू किया, किसका रीवैल्यूएशन किया, सर्टिफाइड वैल्यूअर को एंगेज किया, अमाउंट चेंज हुआ, कितनी वैल्यू चेंज हुई, वो सब डिस्क्लोजर्स में लिखना जरूरी है. नॉट इवन अ लिस्टेड कंपनी, नॉन लिस्टेड सराफ एकेडमी में भी, इफ द ऑडिटर इज सीइंग दैट आई एम डूइंग रीवैल्यू, मैं कोई कर रहा नहीं हूं, किसी को जोश नहीं है, आई एम नॉट डूइंग एनी रीवैल्यूएशन, बट इफ आई विल डू, then even in the private company also auditor will see that whether the disclosures are given or not. Otherwise, how the users will understand why the profit arises, why the assets value has gone up? They will not be able to understand the increase in the value is not because of purchase. It is just the revaluation. They need to get this knowledge. So it is 1, 3 and 4. That is B. Which of the uncorrected misstatement number 1, 2 and 3 by the audit team must be adjusted for if the auditor is to issue an unmodified audit opinion? तो सबका materiality check करना होगा. This is 131.4 million. This is in thousands. So इसको भी million बना देते हैं यार. 1.9, 9.1, 8.4, 2.9. So 1.9 divided by 131.4. Whether it will be greater than 5%. 1.9 divided by 131.4, whether it will be greater than 5%, because PBT ka 5% we are checking. No. Then 9.1 divided by 131.4, it is greater than 5%. Then 8.5 divided by 131.4, it is also greater than 5%. Then 2.9 divided by 131.4, less than 5%. So unmodified opinion देने के लिए these 2 and 3 number points should be rectified because they are material. Which of the uncorrected statement number 1, 2, 3, 4 number they are not asking at all. So 2 and 3 we will say. Misstatement of 2 and 3 need to be rectified. Then only we can give an unmodified opinion. Even 4 number they are not writing, but 4 number is not giving a reason to unmodified because it is less than 5%. The level of materiality, 5% of PBT, 1% of assets and 0.5% of turnover. So misstatement 2 and 3 need to be rectified. All adjustments required by the auditor have been made to the financial statements with the exception of 4 number relating to the faulty goods, because the directors are not accepting the auditor's content. The auditor each have a different opinion than the directors. So 4 number point is not rectified. क्या होएगा? 4 number which is not rectified is actually a question, but then there is a difference of opinion and it is not material. So unmodified opinion report देना है. Which of the following correctly describes the effect of this matter on the auditor's report? Unmodified opinion with no further disclosures. Unmodified opinion with the disclosure in emphasis of the matter paragraph. Unmodified opinion due to material misstatement. Unmodified opinion due to inability to obtain sufficient appropriate audit evidence. Which one? C number is totally wrong. Why not B? Why not B, Kedar? The matter is not so insignificant कि उसका emphasis हमें डालना है. And the D number is totally wrong. D number is totally wrong because audit evidence we have not gathered. ऐसा तो कुछ बोला नहीं है. So A and B, just slightly B is difficult, but I will go with A. I need to check. According to me, A should be there, but फिर भी B में भी ऐसा लिख रहे हैं. But emphasis of matter में, if that emphasize, if that is significant, need to check. 1 second. 145 number na. 145 number. Option 1. Misstatement is 2.2% would not require further disclosures. Therefore, as all other adjustments have been made, no material misstatement exists and an unmodified opinion need to be issued. No. The basis of opinion, you will say when there is a misstatement which is material. Basis of opinion, if it is adverse, if it is disclaimer, if it is qualified, तभी आप basis of opinion में ऐसा लिखोगे. तो basis of opinion में भी कुछ नहीं आएगा. I am saying that अगर material होता तो भी emphasis of matter में नहीं जाएगा, क्योंकि modified होगा और basis of qualified या adverse opinion जो भी होगा वो basis of opinion में जाएगा. अब emphasis of matter में ऐसा है कि हम लोग ऐसा बोलते हैं कि कोई चीज को there is a proper recording done. Everything done by the organization in PL, balance sheet, notes to accounts, policies, all are correct. But that is emphasizing कि भाई इसका importance बहुत ज्यादा है पूरे financials पे. तो आज अगर if it would have been greater than 5%, तो हम लोग इसको डालते basis of opinion दोनों जगह consider करते. अब emphasis of matter में आपको इसको डालना है क्या? क्या लगता है? नहीं डालेंगे. We will not include. हम लोग इसका सिग्निफिकेंस को नहीं बताएंगे. एक सेकेंड, तब मेरे को थोड़ा कंफ्यूजन हो रहा है एक बार. मे बी यू आर करेक्ट, बट मैं एक बार एम्फेसिस ऑफ मैटर में क्या क्या डालते हैं विच वी डिस्कस्ड इन द लास्ट क्लास, एक बार उसके अंदर थोड़ा घुसते हैं. Key auditing matters. Emphasis of matter paragraph by the auditor. An emphasis of matter paragraph is used to refer to a matter that has been appropriately presented or disclosed in the financial statements by the directors. The auditor's judgment is that these matters are of such fundamental importance to the users. अच्छा सॉरी, बिकॉज ये तो स्टोरी बोल रहे हैं ना कि जो प्रॉपरली रिकॉर्ड हुआ है. हम लोगों को लग रहा है कि ये प्रॉपरली रिकॉर्ड नहीं हुआ है, बिकॉज हम लोग को लग रहा है इन्वेंट्री वैल्यू शुड बी लोअर बट दे हैव नॉट. तो हम इसको यहां कैसे डालेंगे? यू आर करेक्ट. एंड इन द लास्ट क्लास व्हेन वी डिड द क्वेश्चंस 2, 3 नंबर 4 नंबर, उसमें भी बेसिस ऑफ ओपिनियन और बाद में रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी ये सब में कवर करना है. करेक्ट. These matters are of such fundamental importance understanding the financial statement that the auditor should emphasize. Examples of such: an uncertainty relating to future outcome of exceptional litigation or regulatory action. A significant subsequent event occurs between the date early application of new accounting standard, major catastrophe. In addition, an emphasis of matter paragraph will use where financial statements have been prepared on a basis other than going concern. The corresponding figures have been restated. The financial statement have been recalled, reissued. Position in the auditor's report. An emphasis of matter is usually included after the basis of opinion. When a key auditing matter section is presented in the auditor's report, an emphasis of matter paragraph may be presented either directly before or after the key auditing matter section based on. अच्छा, key auditing matters में इसको डालेंगे क्या? If it is material, whether we will disclose this in the key auditing matter? No. उस पे भी जाते हैं. Areas of higher assessment of risk, material misstatement, significant risk identified, and assessing the risk of material misstatement. लिखा है यार. Areas of higher assessed risk, और मेरे ख्याल से ये वाला मैं आपसे सहमत नहीं हूं, because the question which we did in the last class, एक बार, the 3 number 4 number question, You see, when in last class faulty brake system, the amount of 111%, 10 million provision, 9 million, it is probable that brake will lose the legal case and all that. The audit opinion will be modified as the financial statements materially misstated. An adverse opinion will be issued stating the financial statement do not give. The basis for opinion section will be amended. The basis for adverse opinion section will explain the reasons for the adverse opinion. The key auditing matter section will reference the basis for adverse opinion. Because अब basis of opinion में तो थोड़ा सा ही बात बोलते हो ना, लेकिन उसके बाद उसको डिटेल में की ऑडिटिंग मैटर्स में तो बताना होगा. In emphasis of matter paragraph, you are not saying anything with which you are not satisfied. You are just emphasizing those things. But key auditing matters में तो उनको डालना होगा यार. Hello, others are getting what confusion we are discussing. What Kedar is saying, what I am saying. Because emphasis of matter heading is that with which we are not dissatisfied, with which whatever done is correct, but they are emphasized. But key auditing matter में तो हमको key matter को डालना होगा ना. Because in opinion you were writing 1 or 2 lines. In basis of opinion you were writing just 3-4 lines. तो अभी उसका explanation कहाँ देंगे यार? तो उसका explanation तो key auditing matter में ही जाके देंगे कि why your adverse opinion basis arises. मतलब ये सब बातें आप की ऑडिटिंग मैटर के अंदर जाकर डालोगे. Getting everybody? Hello? Hello? Before proceeding further, for coming 20-25 days, I don't remember exact date of the exam. Maybe say exact date is 7th of February, March. 7th March, अच्छा ही है. So 15 and 7, 22 days are left. How we are going to study in the class, what you need to do, that I am making a schedule, okay? So that we will be clear what we need to achieve. I will say that if suppose anybody, that depends upon your level of study, what you have studied in these times. Because I cannot be common for everybody, but मैं सबके लिए cover करना चाह रहा हूं. These are the syllabus area: audit framework, planning and risk assessment, internal control, audit evidence, review and reporting. The 5 areas of the syllabus. Audit framework, you can see different types of audit report and all that, ethics, all these things. Planning and risk assessment, audit planning, audit risk and all that. Internal control, test of control and all that. Audit evidence, how the evidences are gathered. Under evidences, it is so many accounting data, non-current asset, purchase, sale. Both are mixed here. And then review and reporting. Those are the areas. 200 questions are here. At the same time, along with 200 questions, section B type, 10 marks question, 20 marks questions are here. Okay. मैं नहीं बोल रहा सारे आपको करने हैं. I'm not saying that you need to do all. There is a material updated here. One second. In the Google Drive. Strategy to pass. This was prepared in last term. Strategy to pass. मैंने हर सब्जेक्ट के लिए एक मटेरियल बनाया था. Strategy to pass. I think I have not mentioned the question number for skill level students, but for professional level students I mentioned the question number also. क्यों नहीं मेंशन किया? बिकॉज ऐसे बताना मुश्किल है. यहां पर मेरे को समझ में आ गया कि इसमें से कौन सा इंपॉर्टेंट है कौन सा नहीं. इट इज डिफिकल्ट टू से लाइक दैट. बट जैसे प्लानिंग एंड रिस्क दे हैव गिवन अराउंड 10-12 क्वेश्चंस, इंटरनल कंट्रोल दे हैव गिवन 10-12 क्वेश्चन, सब में अलग अलग क्वेश्चंस उन्होंने दिए. आपको ऐसा सोचना है कि इफ आई हैव स्टडीड वेरी लेस, मतलब अभी तक मेरा सिलेबस कंप्लीट नहीं है, क्लासेस ठीक से अटेंड नहीं की हैं, या क्लासेस अटेंड की हैं मैंने रिवीजन नहीं किया है, अपने आप पढ़ाई नहीं की है, मतलब आई एम कंसिडरिंग दोज स्टूडेंट्स बट गिविंग एग्जाम. लेकिन एग्जाम दे रहे हैं, गिविंग एग्जाम, कैन वी पास? कैन वी पास? 100% we can pass. But the study time is very high. Because then in that case you cannot pass just by studying 2.5 hours regularly. The study time need to be at least 5 hours every day. And when I am saying 5 hours every day means I am saying study. I am not saying you are talking on mobile and you are studying. You are seeing TV and you are studying. No. TV close, mobile close, room closed and 5 hours effective study. That I am talking. तो अगर आप ये 20 दिनों में 5 hours करके 110-20 hours पढ़ना चाहते हो, चलेगा, दौड़ेगा. You can pass this exam. No issue. What you need to do for this type of a student, those who are falling in this category, we have taken 15 classes. 15 classes means approximately 15 into 3, 45 hours. Say around 40 hours. यानी कि 40 hours का रिकॉर्डिंग करना है. रिकॉर्डिंग, ठीक है. मैं नॉर्मली बोलता हूं कि आप रिकॉर्डिंग डबल बार करो, आप डबल बार अब नहीं कर सकते. 40 hours का रिकॉर्डिंग आपको करना है. डू द क्वेश्चंस फर्स्ट विच वी डिड in the class, 20 hours. रिकॉर्डिंग के बाद आप रिकॉर्डिंग में जो क्वेश्चंस कराएंगे, लाइक वी डिस्कस टुडे, यू डू फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल दोज क्वेश्चंस ओनली. एंड अराउंड आई विल से 40 to 50 hours mock papers. Mock papers in the sense whether you will do the questions from exam kit, whether you will do the questions from institute website practice platform. मैं सबको mock paper मानता हूं, because in the exam kit questions are past exam questions only. सब यहां पर ये सारे past exam के क्वेश्चन है, सब पुराने आए हुए हैं. तो आप अगर इंस्टीट्यूट की वेबसाइट पे जाके मॉक पेपर सॉल्व करो, यहां से करो, कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ता है. बात एक ही, अल्टीमेटली क्वेश्चन सॉल्व करना है. somebody has done earlier, उसके लिए बाद में बात कर रहा हूं. आई एम टॉकिंग अबाउट दिस पर्सन who is giving the exam not studied properly. तो in total 5 hours every day पढ़ने से काम बन जाएगा. What we will be doing in mock papers, I am coming. This is same who is not giving exam. अगर कोई एग्जाम नहीं दे रहा है उसके लिए भी ये सेम है. Like Tilak, you are already there. Even though you are not giving exam, but you should be doing this, because otherwise what problem will happen? Maybe you will give exam in June. The preparation which is now in June, the preparation will be further worst, further problem. So you will say that, sir, I am working. That you have created problem for you, sir. Anybody is working, then why we have regularly not studied? So whether you are giving exam or not, follow this for coming 20-25 days, whatever is left. If you have studied 50%, this is, I am saying that classes कुछ की हैं, कुछ नहीं की हैं, कुछ रिकॉर्डिंग किया है, नहीं किया है, कुछ क्वेश्चन सॉल्व किए, आधा 50% खड़े हैं. Then study hours around 60 to 70 hours. That means more than 3 hours per day. More than 3 hours per day. More than 3 hours per day में I will say recording around 20 hours. Why I am saying 20 hours? Because when you start doing the recording, some of the places you will find that you know the concepts. You can take the speed of the recording at 1.25. You can skip some of the recordings where you find that you are able to recollect the things. But for 20 hours, solve the same thing which we did in the class. Because आपने वो continuously नहीं किया, which we did in the class. And mock will be 40 hours. 40 hours आप mock करोगे. Maybe less than 40 hours because आपने 50% पढ़ा है, जल्दी हो जाएगा. And best category did all the recordings, did all the live class or recordings. That means already solved all the questions which we did in class, which we did in the class. So उनको क्या करना है? Just 40 hours mock paper. Just 40-hour mock paper. Because they are falling in this category. You understand that for everybody, this 40-45 hour mock paper is common. Those first and second category student need to, along with the recording, need to do mock paper regularly. ये नहीं कि पहले recording 10 घंटा करके खत्म करेंगे. No. You start doing the mock papers together. Because that time you don't have. आप mock paper करना चालू करोगे. Mock paper में for coming 10 days, 15th, for everybody, coming 10 days, do the mock paper based on area A, B, C, D, E, or 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, whatever they have written. 5 areas are there. Do the mock paper based on area. From where, at this point of time, if you go in the exam paper and you will identify कि ये area का question होता है, that time, why to waste? Go in the exam kit, solve the questions of that area. Which question? Whichever you like. You want to do part A type of question, you want to do part B question, some questions. But when you are doing this, don't see back. For those first and second category students, they will be completing that area. Then they will be doing the questions of core area A that way. For 10 days, the revisions should be done through the mock papers for everybody. Those who have not studied earlier, they will be doing the recordings. They will be doing the classes which we have done in the class. Then they will be doing the mock. For that reason, for every day, their time is double. For that reason, they are going to study double. But every day, you need to solve the mock papers for different areas. Take a target in 10 days. That first area, I will say, the framework one day. Internal control, audit procedures will be for 4 days. Reporting may be 1 day. Like that you make a schedule, because according to me, internal control evidences and all that are very lengthy. So for that reason, they should be given more time, more questions are there in those areas as compared to framework and all that. So take your time कि 10 दिन में हमें ये करना है. 1 day, suppose I am solving question paper of mock papers of core area A. मैंने 2 घंटा solve किया, 3 घंटा solve किया. Whatever you solved it today, maybe 3-4 questions you have solved. 10 marks का question है, you solved in around 20 minutes. 20 marks question, 40 minutes. Then objective type question, again in 10-12 minutes. Like that, in 1 hour, 2 hours, you will be able to solve 5-6 questions. Tomorrow, you analyze your performance by looking at back. Analyze where you were going wrong, what you could have written well. Make a note that this question I will revise again before the day of exam. This question is very tricky. This I should have done, because At the before the day of exam what you will study that should be fixed. आप फिर से सारी चीजें नहीं पढ़ सकते, आपकी रेडी होनी चाहिए. तो every day you will study and next day in 10 to 20 minutes, 30 minutes, you will be comparing your answers with the model answers to evaluate. Wherever you will find a problem, we are always there in the class. You send the question, the answer, you write up your problem. What is the understanding? We will discuss in the class. What I will do in the class? I will solve mock paper on institute practice platform. The reason being that you need to come to know that there are many students who will be giving ACCA exam first time. They have never given any ACCA exam. They need to know that how the platform function, what you can do, what you cannot do and all that. So I will be taking in the class the questions from the practice platform. In the practice platform 5-6 mock papers are there. Exactly of 3 hours, exactly of 100 marks. I will be solving 1, 2, 3 mock papers. I will decide in the class only that these I will not solve. Whichever paper I will not solve in the practice platform, that you will be solving. You will solve at least 2 papers, in practice platform. In practice platform between 25th to 30th. आप बोलोगे सर 30th नहीं है यार, जो भी है फरवरी है तो 1st फरवरी मार्च होगा, 2nd मार्च होगा, whatever. Between 25th to 30th, because in these days 10 days you are covering A, B, C, D, E, you are making yourself more confident. These 2 papers you will solve exactly in 3 hours. You will solve exactly in 3 hours. सोचकर कि यू आर सिटिंग इन द एग्जाम हॉल, आप ये सोचकर ये पेपर सॉल्व करोगे कि एग्जाम में हो, रूम बंद, क्लोज, प्रैक्टिस प्लेटफॉर्म पे वो 3 घंटा चलाएंगे, 3 घंटा में सॉल्व करेंगे. Between 25th to 38th, I mean to say that around by maximum 2nd of March. And analyze your weak areas. Weak areas क्या है, कहां पर इंप्रूव करना है. Because when you solve in 3-6 hours, तो आपके पास तो दिन और भी है. Between 5-7 days, when you solve 2 mock paper, you will have other days. You will analyze your weak areas, study them, revise them, make your notes ready. During this time, I will take 1 mock test in the class for exactly 3 hours. उस दिन मैं कुछ नहीं पढ़ाऊंगा, आपको आंसर देना है बस. कोई क्लास नहीं हो रही है. जस्ट 3 hours में you need to think that the test is going on. You will submit your answers between 25th to 30th, 2nd March only. I mean to say that I will be giving you feedback once you submit your answers. आयुष खंडेलवाल जी, आप कभी भी ये वाला चीज नहीं करते हो. जब से आप लाइव क्लासेस कर रहे हो यही चीज आप में कमी रह जाता है. फॉर दैट रीजन मार्क्स कहां आता है 50-55. अगर ये करने लग जाओगे मार्क्स 70 के पार निकल जाएगा. यू विल बी एबल टू स्कोर ग्रेटर देन 70, बट दैट प्रॉब्लम इज देयर इन यू. आप मेरे को बोलते हो सर मैं अभी नहीं दे रहा हूं, बाद में दे रहा हूं, ये सब होता ही रहता है. वो तो नहीं करना है. ये देयर आर मेनी स्टूडेंट्स हु डोंट फॉलो दिस बिकॉज वी कैनॉट स्कोर गुड मार्क्स इन एग्जाम unless and until we are not solving 2 to 3 papers exactly in 3 hours. आप क्या जानते हो उसको टेस्ट करना जरूरी है. If I am going to play a match, Indian team going to play with anybody, अगर नेट प्रैक्टिस नहीं करेंगे तो कैसे मैच खेलेंगे. We need to practice on the pitch. What is the type of pitch? तभी तो हम लोग जीत पाएंगे मैच. So this is very essential for passing or scoring good marks or scoring rank. Because according to me there are many who knows very well and they can easily score 75-80 plus. Auditing के अंदर वर्ल्ड रैंक विल बी अराउंड 80 लाइए, वर्ल्ड रैंक लाइए. So when we are already knowing that confidence है 50 का टेंशन नहीं है, why not I should be targeting 80, 85? Why not I should score such marks which nobody has scored? थोड़ा मन में जोश लाना होएगा. This is the process for coming 20-25 days. Anybody giving exam, not giving exam, properly studied, not studied. And this is not only for this subject. This is for any subject you are going to study in ACCA, whether with me, self-study, any other tuition classes, anywhere. आपको ये follow करना होगा last 20-25 दिन में. For professional level, for skill level both. Because knowledge level is everyday exam. That's a different story. But professional level and skill level के लिए ये जरूरी है. You are bound to do this. Then only you will be able to feel confident of giving the exam. Auditing subjects generally student feel English नहीं आता है, theory है, but it is easier than practical subjects to pass because syllabus is less. You can complete the syllabus very well. Okay? Anybody has anything to ask before so that I can proceed? बोलिए सर.
I want to ask that how much time we need to allot for MCQ out of 3 hours? Like 30 minutes would be preferable.
If we go with the thumb rule, you are getting 180 minutes for 300 marks paper. 100 marks paper. That means 1.8 minute. One objective type question each of 10 marks. So 10 into 1.8 is 18 minutes. In 18 minutes you are reading also. Then you are able to select which one is correct. So मेरे को लगता है कि even if I am the student in the exam hall, generally अभी जो ये हम लोग 141 वाला क्वेश्चन किए थे बहुत लेंदी था. But then the other two question which we read from the book, there were very less explanation was there. So we cannot have a thumb rule. लेकिन अगर explanation in the objective type is 3-4 paragraphs like that 141 number, तो उसको आपको रीड करने में ही 4 मिनट 5 मिनट लग जाएगा. तो आपके पास टाइम लेफ्ट इज ऑलरेडी अराउंड I will say 10 to 12 minutes to answer. So 5 question, every question will be, you can say around 2.5 minutes. But अगर the study text वाला जो questions था, 1 paragraph was written as an explanation, that you can complete in 1 minute only, 2 minutes. Then in that case you are getting more time to answer. लेकिन आपको ये thumb rule लेकर चलना होएगा कि मेरे को 18 minutes में खत्म करना है. 18 के बदले extra time you can give 2 minutes more. But if in a question objective type you are taking more than 20 minutes, गड़बड़ होने वाला है. You will not be able to complete the paper. Because 5% here and there timing can be adjusted. But if we are taking in place of 18 minutes, 30 minutes, paper छूटेगा, guarantee. Paper complete नहीं होएगा. तो 10 हाँ बोलिए. हाँ
जी सर. एंड सर 15 मिनट्स किस लिए मिलते हैं स्टार्टिंग में सर? सर वो क्वेश्चन पेपर रीड करेंगे या
वो तो वो लोग सॉफ्टवेयर बताते रहते हैं, ऐसे खुलता है, ये होता है, वो होता है, वहां कुछ नहीं मिलता है. लेकिन उसको भी अपने को जब 15 मिनट्स मिल ही रहा है तो अपने वेस्ट क्यों करेंगे? वो 15 मिनट्स में जो भी वो लोग बोल रहे हैं हम लोग ध्यान से सुनेंगे. बिकॉज सो दैट क्या होता है कि कभी कभी स्टूडेंट बोलता है, कभी नहीं, बहुत बार, सर मेरे को तो ये पता ही नहीं था. तो आपको जो 15 मिनट्स फ्री में सॉफ्टवेयर के बारे में अपडेट दिया जा रहा है, आप उसको बर्बाद क्यों कर रहे हैं? आप ध्यान से सुनिए ना, व्हाट यू कैन डू, व्हाट यू कांट डू एंड ऑल दैट. आप एग्जाम घर से दो या एग्जाम सेंटर में जाके दो, सॉफ्टवेयर सेम है. द सेम सॉफ्टवेयर, सेम टर्मिनोलॉजी, सेम थिंग दे आर यूजिंग फॉर टेकिंग द एग्जाम. ओके, तो कोई टेंशन नहीं रहेगा. बिकॉज मैं क्लास में आपको मॉक पेपर्स वगैरह कराते रहूंगा, आप लोग घर पे ये सारा करते रहोगे, ये अपने आप मॉक पेपर हो रहा है. फिर नेक्स्ट लेवल में जाने से 25th के बाद मॉक पेपर आप भी करने लग जाओगे. बिकॉज मॉक पेपर करने के टाइम पे कॉन्फिडेंस आना चाहिए. इफ आई विल स्टार्ट डूइंग द मॉक पेपर नाउ, अभी मेरे को लगता है, मैं अपनी बात नहीं कर रहा, कोई भी स्टूडेंट लेवल पे सोचूं तो अभी हम लोग वहां तैयार नहीं है कि आई कैन सॉल्व अ 3 hours पेपर. अभी मेरे को और अगर मैं हूं भी, आई वॉन्ट टू बी वेरी कॉन्फिडेंट कि जब मैं मॉक पेपर करूं मेरे को अच्छा लगे, या आई नो द थिंग्स, आई कैन इजिली पास. मेरे को यहां पर ध्यान देना है, तो वहां पहुंचने के लिए भी 10 दिन चाहिए. गेटिंग? I will be taking to the website in the next class, not now. अभी मैं वहां नहीं जा रहा. अभी मैं एक बार यहीं से कहीं से क्वेश्चंस कर रहा हूं. लाइक सी स्टडी टेक्स्ट. स्टडी टेक्स्ट में क्वेश्चंस एंड आंसर्स आर गिवन. from all the areas of the syllabus. Question and answers. Page 507, around 535. सीधा ही खुल गया है. Questions and answers. Question. This is relating to confidentiality. मतलब कौन सा एरिया हुआ ये? The question is relating to confidentiality. Which area they are focusing? Ethics. Ethics and principles को फोकस कर रहे हैं. दूसरा क्वेश्चन है ethical threats, मतलब दोनों ही ethics से रिलेटेड है. तीसरा क्वेश्चन है एनालिटिकल रिस्क, रिस्क असेसमेंट, ऑडिट रिस्क. चौथा एरिया इज ऑल्सो ऑडिट रिस्क. देन देयर इज फ्रॉड, रिस्क एंड फ्रॉड, वहीं से. देन क्वालिटी कंट्रोल में आ गए, इंटरनल कंट्रोल, एविडेंसेस एंड ऑल दैट. मतलब आपको क्वेश्चन के ऊपर लिखा हुआ है कौन सा एरिया से ये है. एग्जाम में नहीं लिखा रहेगा. एग्जाम में दे विल नॉट बी सेइंग दैट इट इज दिस एरिया. मान लीजिए मैं इसमें थोड़ा सा इजी वाला एरिया में जा रहा हूं, एथिकल थ्रेट्स, विच इज इजियर टू आंसर. किसी को कुछ नहीं भी आता है तो भी बकबक करने लग जाता है नॉर्मली, वेदर द स्टूडेंट हैज स्टडीड एथिक्स और नॉट. बट दिस इज अ क्वेश्चन विच द स्टूडेंट्स लाइक. बट इफ द आंसर इज नॉट रिटन इन द प्रॉपर डायरेक्शन, examiner will not like your answer. You need to follow the guidelines, what the examiners are saying. You are a manager in the audit firm of JT and Company, and this is your first time you have worked on one of the firm's established clients, Pink Company. You are a manager in the audit firm of JIT Company. JT firm is a chartered firm, audit firm. You are the manager in that firm. This is your first time you have worked on one of the firm's established clients, Pink Company. Maybe the Pink Company audit we were doing only, but you are first time doing the audit of Pink Company. You have worked on one of the firm's clients first time. The main activity of Pink Company is providing investment advice to individuals regarding saving for retirement, purchases of shares and securities, and investing in tax efficient saving schemes. मतलब ये जो पिंक कंपनी है, इट्स अ प्रोफेशनल फर्म. दे एडवाइस, दे गिव द सर्विस एडवाइस टू इंडिविजुअल्स रिगार्डिंग सेविंग ऑफ रिटायरमेंट. आपके पास सैलरी के पैसे आते हैं या बिजनेस करते हैं, पैसे आते हैं, तो आपको कहां लगाना चाहिए, म्यूचुअल फंड, ये सब में. परचेज ऑफ शेयर्स एंड सिक्योरिटीज, कौन सा खरीदना चाहिए. इन्वेस्टिंग इन टैक्स एफिशिएंट स्कीम, अभी इंडिया में चल रहा है, मार्च आने वाला है. पिंक कंपनी इज अ लिस्टेड कंपनी रेगुलेटेड बाय रेलेवेंट फाइनेंशियल सर्विसेज अथॉरिटी. पिंक कंपनी लिस्टेड कंपनी है और रेगुलेटेड बाय द रेलेवेंट फाइनेंशियल सर्विसेज अथॉरिटी. मतलब मे बी दैट इज रेगुलेटेड बाय इंडियन सीए इंस्टीट्यूट, इंश्योरेंस एक्ट, शेयर मार्केट से भी से रेगुलेट होता है. क्या इंडिया में ऐसी कोई कंपनी है लिस्टेड कंपनी जो ये सब सर्विसेज देते हैं? इज देयर एनी कंपनी इन इंडिया विच प्रोवाइड दीज टाइप्स ऑफ सर्विसेज? क्यों पूछ रहा हूं? कोई यूज नहीं है. बट इफ यू कैन कोरिलेट विथ अ प्रैक्टिकल कंपनी, योर आंसर राइटिंग विल बी गोइंग टू द नेक्स्ट लेवल. मेरे ख्याल से इंडिया में कोई लिस्टेड कंपनी तो नहीं है यार. कैन बी सी दैट द बिग फोर, बट LIC इज ऑल्सो इंश्योरेंस ना. वो लोग ये सब एडवाइस नहीं दे रहे हैं कि शेयर मार्केट में कहां लगाना चाहिए. लोग हैं, स्मॉल स्केल पे लोग हैं, फॉर्म्स भी हैं, काम भी करते हैं. मैं भी किसी से कंसल्टेंसी लेता हूं, है ऐसे. बट ऐसा कोई लिस्टेड कंपनी इंडिया में इस एरिया में नहीं है. मतलब अगर हम लोग सबको ही मिलकर ऐसा कोई कंपनी बनाए इंडिया में तो चलेगा क्या? अच्छा होगा क्या? इट कैन बी अ स्टार्टअप. दैट somebody will be a share market specialist, somebody will be a retirement specialist, somebody will be a efficient saving scheme. बनेगा, चलेगा, अच्छा. बट सबको मिलकर काम करना होगा. लेकिन बाहर है ऐसी कंपनियां, इंडिया में ऐसा नहीं है. इट इज एट वेरी जनरल लेवल established in India. You have been asked to start the audit planning for Pink Company. अच्छा, this type of company story audit, have we done any question earlier? ऐसा स्टोरी की कंपनी का कोई क्वेश्चन हमने पहले किया है? We have done. We have done a question in the chapter ethical threats या रिस्क वाले में हमने ऐसा क्वेश्चंस किया है. मतलब the business of this company is this. You have been asked to start the audit planning for Pink Company by Mrs. Goodball. You have been asked to start the audit planning. आप प्लानिंग कर रहे हो ऑडिट का अभी हम लोग रिपोर्ट कर रहे थे, अब हम लोग प्लान में चले गए एकदम बिगिनिंग. You have been asked to start the audit planning for Pink Company by Mr. Goodball, a partner in JT and Company. गुडबॉल पार्टनर है जेटी का, उसने बोला भाई ऑडिट प्लानिंग करो, क्या करना है नहीं करना है. मिसेस गुडबॉल हैज बीन द एंगेजमेंट पार्टनर फॉर पिंक कंपनी फॉर द प्रीवियस 7 years and so has a sound knowledge of the client. One engagement partner can do the audit of a listed company for how many years? One engagement partner for 7 years. लेकिन 1 साल और अलाउड है यार, 7 + 1 ऐसा बोलते हैं ना, नॉर्मली 7 years लेकिन एक और. What is the problem if the same person, if the same signing partner is doing the signing of the audit report? प्रॉब्लम क्या होगी उससे? अगर एक ही पर्सन बार बार ऑडिट करेगा, साइन करेगा, तो क्या प्रॉब्लम होगी? व्हाट इज द इश्यू? फेमिलियरिटी थ्रेट होगा इससे, बिकॉज वो चीजों को चेक नहीं करेगा, बात को ऐसे ही मान लेगा. और कोई थ्रेट होगा? What are the threats we studied earlier? Other than the familiarity threats, what are the threats we studied earlier? Self-review threat, then self-interest threat, then advocacy threat, then और कुछ था? Confidentiality was an ethical principle. वो threat नहीं था, वो intimidation threat. Yes. 5 threats. That is self-interest threat, self-review threat, advocacy threat, familiarity threat, intimidation. थोड़ा स्पेलिंग गलत है आशीष मेरे ख्याल से. इंटिमिडेशन, कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं, मेरी भी स्पेलिंग बहुत गलती होती है, जैसे जस्ट आई एम सेइंग. यस, एक्चुअली व्हेन वी प्रोनाउंस इट प्रॉपरली देन द स्पेलिंग विल करेक्ट. इंटिमिडेशन, इंटिमिडिएशन, मिडिएशन है कि मिडेशन? यस, मिडेशन. यस, intimidation. Now, can anybody say all these 5 threats in the Hindi, English, Bengali, or whatever language so that everybody can understand? These 5 threats, anybody? You need to quote one example in all the threats so that others will be able to understand. Even though if you will be saying wrong, try it. मैं rectify कर दूंगा, कोई issue नहीं है. Yes sir, try करिए sir.
So self-interest threat is where the auditor has financial or other interest that will inappropriately influence his decisions, sir.
Any example of self-interest threat?
Sir, we can say sir, gifts of hospitality or fee dependency. Like
we are the shareholder or we have given loan to the client, डेट टू द कंपनी, तो हम लोग को वहां से इंटरेस्ट मिलेगा, मतलब हमारा कुछ पर्सनल फायदा है. देयर इज सम पर्सनल गेन इन द क्लाइंट, सो इफ आई एम थिंकिंग अबाउट माई पर्सनल गेन, आई कैन नॉट बी ऑब्जेक्टिव इन माई ऑडिट अप्रोच. सेल्फ इंटरेस्ट थ्रेट. देन
self review threat is so if in case suppose we are providing non audit work and we are the audit partner, like engagement partner as well, sir, and then we are checking our work, then that is self-review threat.
So the auditor should not be involving or doing other work other than the audit work, because then in that case he will be doing like preparation of financial statement. You will prepare, you will check, then what you will check? Okay, then
Familiarity threat is so when we become too close or too trusting of the client, or when we are become sympathetic of what the auditor
like in this situation the example is saying 7 years से एक ही आदमी ऑडिट कर रहा है, तो सब कुछ पता है, थोड़ा ज्यादा अलग रिलेशनशिप हो गया होगा, he will not be able to check the records properly, chances are there, objective नहीं हो पाएगा. Then
sir, advocacy threat is when we are providing suggestions or when we take decisions on behalf of the client, sir, like suppose sir, induction of an what do we call it, non-executive members, then that is advocacy threat.
we are saying advocacy is derived from the word advocate. मैं आपको बोलूंगा आपको ये करना होगा, ऐसा करना होगा, ये करना होगा. सो एडवोकेसी थ्रेट माने डिराइव्ड फ्रॉम द इंग्लिश मीनिंग एडवोकेशन, कि एडवोकेशन जब किसी को भी करते हैं तो हम उसको गाइडेंस, ऐसे करो, ये नहीं करो, वैसा. तो एडवोकेसी थ्रेट कहां आता है? व्हेन वी थिंक दैट कि हमने कोई इंप्लॉय को वहां पर अपॉइंट करवाया है, कोई मैनेजमेंट को अपॉइंट करवाया है, प्रमोटिंग अ क्लाइंट, कुछ भी कहीं पर जहां पर हम उसको एडवोकेट कर रहे हैं. तो एडवोकेट करने से प्रॉब्लम क्या होएगा? हम उसका बेनिफिट सोचने लग जाएंगे, हम ऑडिट नहीं करेंगे. हम तो वो सोचेंगे वी नीड टू डू दिस दैट एंड ऑल दैट. वी विल नॉट बी एबल टू थिंक जस्टिफाइड ऑन आवर ऑब्जेक्टिव मैटर. फॉर दैट रीजन एडवोकेसी थ्रेट. प्रमोटिंग द क्लाइंट समवेयर, वो भी जब आप प्रमोट कर रहे हैं इनकम टैक्स डिपार्टमेंट में कोई जगह, यू आर प्रमोटिंग द क्लाइंट फॉर टेकिंग लोन, हाउ कैन यू डू द ऑडिट ऑफ दैट क्लाइंट? आप तो सब कुछ अच्छा ही उसके बारे में बोलोगे. एंड इंटरमीडिएशन मींस आपको कोई डरा रहा है, धमका रहा है, आपको काम नहीं करने दे रहे हैं. डराना धमकाने को हम लोग बोलते हैं, जैसे लॉ में पढ़ते हैं ना, कोअर्सन, थ्रेट्स एंड ऑल दैट, बचपन में पढ़े होंगे कि डराना धमकाना. तो इंटरमीडिएशन इज बेसिकली द ऑडिटर इज गेटिंग अफ्रेड और बिकॉज ऑफ एनी रीजन ही इज नॉट एबल टू डू द ऑडिट प्रॉपरली. या इंटरमीडिएशन में वो भी बोलते हैं हम लोग इंटिमिडेशन, मतलब बहुत दोस्त यारी, बट दैट कैन बी कोरिलेटेड एज अ फेमिलियरिटी. हियर इंटरमीडिएशन शुड बी ट्रीटेड एज, you can say, affect on you so that you cannot do the audit work properly. Then what are the ethical principles we discussed? These are ethical threats. What are the ethical principles we discussed? Five ethical principles: objectivity, integrity, confidentiality,
professional competence and due care, and integrity.
हो गया, पांचों हो गया. इंटेग्रिटी, ऑब्जेक्टिविटी, कॉन्फिडेंशियलिटी, कॉम्पिटेंस एंड प्रोफेशनल बिहेवियर. दिस कैन बी रिमेंबर्ड बाय द वर्ड कुप्पी. लिखते हैं वो लोग बुक्स में यार, अगर याद करना हो तो. मेरे को तो ऐसे याद होता नहीं है. इंटेग्रिटी गांधी जी का बंदर. डोंट सपोर्ट एनी रॉन्ग थिंग, डोंट इन्वॉल्व इनटू एनी रॉन्ग थिंग. Objectivity, always say the things based on proof, facts, don't take support of anybody, be unbiased, purely. Confidentiality, whatever you are getting knowledge, information about client, about anybody, don't disclose with anybody. Don't share with anybody. Don't use for your personal benefits. Unless and until it is required by law, police वगैरह पूछ रही है, बताना होगा. Competence, don't accept any assignment unless and until you have professional competency, you have knowledge. Regularly upgrade your knowledge, regularly do PR auditing of the conducted by the professional institutes. अपना लेवल को बढ़ाइए. And professional behavior, follow the laws, rules, regulations of the land, of the country, of the organization, and don't decide anything or don't suggest anything which is adverse for the public. Unless and because कोई भी ऐसा डिसीजन मत दीजिए जो पब्लिक को खराब करेगा, गड़बड़ करेगा. You need to be professional. You need to achieve your targets in time. Never delay. Always complete your work in time. That is called professional behavior. And along with that, we say that we need to be skepticism maintaining, because कोई भी चीज को ऑन द फेस वैल्यू वी शुड नॉट एक्सेप्ट. वी नीड टू डू आवर चेकिंग, वेरिफिकेशन. वी नीड टू थिंक दैट इट मे बी एरर, देयर मे बी प्रॉब्लम, देयर मे बी इश्यूज. सो वी नीड टू कंडक्ट आवर ऑडिट विद द प्रिंसिपल्स एंड द एथिकल थ्रेट्स इन टेकन इनटू कंसिडरेशन. क्वेश्चंस इसी के ऊपर डिपेंडेंट है, चाहे जो भी लिखे इसी के बारे में बताना है. एक बार हमने रिवाइज कर लिया कि हम क्या क्या पढ़े थे. व्हाट वी स्टडीड अर्लियर, which we studied in first or second class only. Messrs. Goodball has been the engagement partner of P company for previous years, 7 years, has a sound knowledge. 1 year और वो हो सकता है, लेकिन 1 year और जब वो होगा, there should be a peer review. जैसे इंडियन सीए इंस्टीट्यूट ने अभी peer review कंपलसरी कर दिया है. In the news it was coming. I have not gone into the report properly, but Indian CA Institute has made the peer review compulsory. The further write-up is there, but I have not gone into that. But if 7 years से ज़्यादा 1 साल और लेते हैं, तो उसका evaluation एक peer review करेगा. Whether that peer review will be appointed by the company, by the board, by the TCWG, वो देखा जाएगा. लेकिन आप 1 साल और रह सकते हैं, with the help of peer review किया जाएगा, because you are very familiar with the organization. Mrs. Goodall has been the engagement partner of Ping Company for the previous 7 years, and so has a sound knowledge of the client. Mrs. Goodall has informed you that she would like her son Simon to be part of the audit team this year. Has informed you that she would like her son Simon to be part of the audit team this year. Are? So he say, what is the threat arise with this? Whatever Mr. Simon will be checking, Goodall तो check ही नहीं करेगा उसको. सेल्फ इंटरेस्ट थ्रेट हो जाएगा, सेल्फ रिव्यू भी हो जाएगा, बिकॉज मेरा बच्चे ने ही किया है. और क्या हो सकता है? फेमिलियरिटी तो ऊपर इधर से आएगा ना, इससे भी फेमिलियरिटी आएगा यार. एलिन, माई सन इज इन द ऑडिट टीम टू डू द ऑडिट. आई विल बी इवेल्युएटिंग द वर्क ऑफ माई सबऑर्डिनेट्स. तो मैं मेरे सन का वर्क इवेल्युएट करूंगा. सो मे बी आई विल नॉट बी ऑब्जेक्टिव. I will not be analyzing the proof facts. I will assume that he has done the work properly and all that. That problem will arise. So if my son is there, I should not be the signing partner. And if I am the signing partner, my son should not be in the audit team. Simon is currently studying for his first set of papers for ACCA. लो ACCA को भी घुसा दिए. यानी कि ACCA का फर्स्ट सेट ऑफ पेपर सिमन पढ़ रहा है, ऑडिटिंग पढ़ रहा है. तो सिमन को बोले भाई प्रैक्टिकल एक्सपीरियंस हो जाएगा, आ जाओ. क्या प्रैक्टिकली ऐसा होता है? Whether practically does this happen? In India, in UK, in US, that actually there is a signing partner and he has involved his son or daughter or anybody in the audit assignment work. होता तो है यार सब जगह. होना नहीं चाहिए. Ethics says that it should not be, but होता सभी जगह है. Mrs. Goodall, because otherwise how that person will understand. लेकिन अगर वो मेरे अंडर नहीं रह के किसी और के अंडर रहे तो बेटर रहेगा. Mrs. Goodall also informs you that the audit senior received investment advice from Ping Company during the year. Also informs you that audit senior received investment advice from Ping Company during the year and intend to do the same next year. Hari? That means एक तो सन हो गया, एक दूसरे जो staff they are getting the investment advice, retirement advice, all these advice from the company. तो क्या वो लोग कर सकते हैं क्या? Self interest that arises because when they are getting the advice, they will not be doing the checking, they will not be asking questions, they will not be generating evidences properly. Chances are there. वैसे ही इलेक्ट्रिसिटी कंपनी से इलेक्ट्रिसिटी तो लेंगे ना, सो ये चेक करना है, बट इट कैनॉट बी सेड दैट कि दे कैनॉट डू दैट. If it is in the normal course of business, there is no issue. That is I am saying. In an initial meeting with the finance director of Ping Company, you learn that the audit team will not be entertained on Ping Company. Will not. In an initial meeting with the finance director of Ping Company, you learn that the audit team will not be entertained on Ping Company's yacht this year, as this could appear to be an attempt to influence the audit opinion. यानी कि पिछले साल गए थे. Even though we are reporting for the current year, but पिछले साल yacht में नहीं जाना चाहिए था. Instead, the audit team has been involved today at the horse race costing less than 2/5 of the expense of using the yacht. मतलब जो याच का खर्चा है हॉर्स रेस में जाएंगे जिसमें 2/5 खर्चा लगेगा, बट वो हम लोग ले रहे हैं. What is the ethical threat here? Again, self-interest. Unless and until the amount is very insignificant. JT and Company has done some consulting work previously and the invoice is still outstanding. हमने कंसल्टिंग वर्क भी किया है. I am not wrong. You gave this sum as a test. नहीं, ये नहीं था, दूसरा था. Because I gave the question from Kaplan only. दूसरा कुछ था, लेकिन स्टोरी ऐसा ही था. We discussed. हाँ, yes. So here you can say previously and the invoice is still outstanding. The consulting work may not be outside the scope. It is within the scope only, but fees baki hai. So when the fees is due, what is the threat? When the fees is due, indirectly debt is due. And when the fees is due, then in that case you may not be checking because that much fees is due. Identify and explain 5 threats to independence in relation to audit of Ping company. For each threat, identify, understand, identify and explain. Explain bhi karna hai. 5 threats to independence relation to the audit of this company. For each threat, recommend how the threat can be managed. Matlab you can present columnar form. 1 column threats and explanation. 2nd column how we are going to manage this threat. Prepare your answer using 2 columns they have said also. But in exam, whether they have said or not, we should be making 2 columns. Ethical threat and possible safeguard respectively. So I will say Tilak, can you answer 1 threat, explanation and how we can manage that threat? Tilak. One threat, the explanation of that threat, and then how we can manage that threat. Mr. Tilak, are you there in the class? Mr. Tilak. ठीक है. Janab, can you answer? 1 point. This is the threat, this is the explanation, and this is the way we can manage. Janab. Okay, no issue. Just that slightly the explanations need to be more. Since you are typing in the chat box, for that reason maybe you are not getting proper structure to type. For that reason I was saying you can unmute yourself and say. Because if you write this, suppose that this is a 10 marks question, okay? I will not be giving you 2 marks fully. I will be giving you 1.5. Because according to me the explanation is slightly short. Familiarity threat is the threat which arises during course of audit when the audit engagement partner or any audit sub-assistant are very familiar with the client, familiar with the management. Because in that case, maybe they will not be able to doing the audit, checking the doing the verification in the proper level. Since Mr. Goodall is already the engagement partner of Ping company for 7 years. Definitely he must have developed a relationship with the board members, with the TCWG and other authorities. So in that case, maybe he will be carried away in doing the audit of some of the areas and he will not be checking them properly. So for that reason, the advice recommendation is that either the audit engagement partner should be changed this year, or maybe if we are keeping him for one more year, then the review committee meeting review should be done on the audit work done by Goodall. Are we getting? Because 7 plus 1 year allowed. But in that 1 year, we need to have that the audit done by Mr. Goodall would be evaluated by a peer review committee. Hello, everybody is getting what I am saying? Because in non-listed company तो the clause is not there of 7, ये सब है ही नहीं. Listed company के लिए ही clause है 7 plus 1 year वाला, जहां तक मेरे को ध्यान है. Because in a non-listed company, suppose my same auditor है यार, कोई problem नहीं है. Because मेरे कंपनी में तो मैं और विदिशा 2 person है, उन्हीं से तो connected होगा वो यार. So the clause is there for listed company only relating to the number of years. For non-listed company, I think the clause is not there. What do you think? नहीं तो हम लोग पीछे चेक करने जाएंगे. Others remember Kedar, Ayush Vyas, Adrija. Because as per my memory, it was written that for a listed company, the provision is there 7 years and 7 plus 1. For non-listed company, there is no provision as such. Okay. So we all are in the majority, so I'm not checking there. Adrija, you say the another ethical threats with explanation and the management of that.
The audit manager's son is a part of the audit team, so that can give rise to a self-interest threat because the manager might not properly review the team member's work as she might be prejudiced at the time of reviewing. So the manager's son should not be a part of the team, audit team, and must be placed somewhere else.
Yes, just he should not be a part of the audit team. So a self-interest threat because his son is there, and when his son will be doing the work, maybe we will be biased, we will not be able to do the work properly. For that reason, the son should be replaced. We have to replace him. He should not be engaged under his father's shoes. माने उसमें उसको audit नहीं करना है. ठीक है? Then, Eileen, you say third one. Eileen, you say third one. Yes.
So one point is that they have taken the audit team for a meeting and horse race or something.
Yes. Okay. Sorry. Yeah.
That, like, if you're compensating like suppose the firm is compensating the auditor, then the amount should be like minimal, like very less. Then only the audit firm should accept it. Otherwise, they should not accept it, as they will feel that since they have provided us with such a good, such a good event, we have to not put in many misstatements. We have to make the audit report nice and all. So,
Yes.
Either if it is not, if the expense is a lot, then do not attend it. Only if it is like minimal and does not reflect their revenue so much, then you can accept it.
Just that, कि maybe when you were saying, then you were saying so many things. But in the exam, slightly we need to focus on time also. We need to say that it is a self-interest threat, accepting the horse race, horse race invitation, horse race invitation to attend that meeting can be creating self-interest threat. Reason being that when we are supported by the client something beyond the fees, audit fees and all that, then in that case maybe we are burdened by that. The auditor may be burdened by that, and in that case they will not be doing the audit and verification in the right direction. They will be forced by that. They will be affected by that. And if this is a very insignificant amount, that can be accepted, otherwise not. And I will say that when they have written last year they have accepted yacht, that means we need to verify why last year also this was accepted, if we get time. Even though we need to write for the current year only. But last year we did yacht and that was very significant, that is already said. So that also need to be checked, that how this was accepted earlier. Because if there is something did mistake last year, for that reason it is repeated now. So if last year only it is controlled out, then this year the problem would not be arising. Okay, no issue. Then कितना हुआ? 3 हुआ, 5 लिखना है भाई, 5 points. What can be the other point? We can include this last line. Invoice is due, amount is due, unless and until the amount is not cleared, we should not be accepting the, we should not start the audit. The amount due, so creating a pressure on the client, and it is a benefit for us that if the client is performing proper, then they will be able to pay. We will not be doing the, that is again self-interest threat. Then what is any one more point? 5 points they are asking. I think somebody earlier we discussed, but nobody has said this, that the staff are getting this benefit. The staff are getting the services which is offered by the client. If it is in the normal course of business, no issue. But if it is exceptional services given to them at a reduced prices, at discounted prices, then since they are getting that, they will not be doing the verification properly. So that is creating a self-interest threat again and should not be done. Any other point other than these 5 points? कुछ और लग रहा है? Other than these 5 points, any other point? मेरे को भी नहीं लग रहा है, इसीलिए, because we have covered this one. We have covered this one, son's case. We have covered this one, third. We have covered this one, fourth. And we have covered fifth. The question is designed in such a way that exactly 5 points can come out from here. उससे ज्यादा points आ नहीं सकते. Before proceeding, it is always, suppose you are not writing this question because you know that this is to be written. लेकिन आप प्लान करने के बाद आंसर एक बार चेक जरूर करो. It is very essential. So that you can work on your mistakes, कैसे लिखना है, कोई चीज, because we always want to save time. Every question we cannot do in writing. But not that every question we will be doing like this only, just thinking. Some we need to write. Mrs. Goodall has been the engagement partner for last 7 years. This creates a familiarity threat. You understand? पहले उन्होंने familiarity threat बता दिया. Mrs. Goodall may be too trusting of or too close to the client to be able to make objective decisions due to this long association. Understand how they are writing. English language, your mind will be different. Familiarity threat, what problem it will create? Explanation. Now here they are writing huge, not to be written there. Goodall should be rotated from engagement team. It may be possible to allow Mrs. Goodall to continue as engagement partner for 1 year in order to safeguard audit quality. Audit committee approval must be obtained in order to allow this, and an engagement quality review meeting should be arranged. मैं यही बोल रहा था, इन लोग बना के लिखे. They have time, but we don't have that much time. There may be impression of lack of independence as Simon is related to engagement partner. Simon should be tempted not to identify errors in case this prejudices his mother's relationship with, maybe that Mrs. Goodall लिखा है ना, she is a lady. In addition, if Mrs. Goodall reviews Simon's work, she may not review it thoroughly as the other audit staff to their relationship. This demonstrates complete independence. Simon should not be a part of the audit committee, audit team. As long as audit senior paid a full fees to Ping company for the investment service, there is no ethical threat as investment advice is in the normal course. that is the staff, those who are. However, if the audit senior received the discount on the service or preferential rate as a benefit of being part of this, the audit creates a self-interest threat. The audit senior may overlook issues identified during audit because of preferential treatment. The audit team and the other employees should be asked not to use the services of Pink or other client or audit client unless prior engagement has been obtained from the relevant engagement partner. You see, they are saying that लो ही मत, अगर लेना है तो पहले audit engagement partner से approval लो. The audit team has been offered a day at the horse race at the end of audit, which creates a self-interest threat. Unless the value is trivial and inconsequential, hospitality is not allowed. The fact that horse race days cost less than the yard's expense is irrelevant. The auditor may feel indebted to the client and therefore overlook issues identified. ये बात जो इस because of this threat, what problem can arise need to be written. That is explanation. The day out should not be accepted. The rationale for accepting hospitality in previous years should be investigated. वो भी check करना है जो मैं बोल रहा था. There are outstanding fees creating a self-interest threat. JT and company may be reluctant to identify misstatement for fees of not getting paid. In addition, outstanding fees may be considered to be a loan. Loans to clients are not permitted. Payment for work should be arranged before the audit is commenced or a payment is planned. That means the planning of the payment or the payment should be done earlier before the audit is starting. So here exactly 5 threats are written and they are writing those 5 threats answers also. Any student giving exam in auditing, whether prepared well or not, this question they likes. But that doesn't mean that the student will get the marks. Unless and until they are not explaining properly, they are not explaining the threat, marks नहीं मिलेगा. Examiner को आपका English grammar mistakes से they are not concerned. But they are mainly concerned, are you covering exactly, properly the threats and their reservations? You are explaining them because 10 marks question है. 18 minutes allowed. And I don't think so reading will take more than 3 to 4 minutes. तो आपको 15 minutes, 14 minutes, 14 minutes you will get in writing. 14 minutes into 1.5 line. 14 into 1.5 is around 22 lines you can write in exam. If you have a normal typing speed. So 20 minutes में इतना लिखा जा सकता. Obviously इतना नहीं. थोड़ा कम explanation but it can be written very well. That means in this question, generally a student can score 10 out of 10. If you will write properly the threats, the explanation and the resolution for that, managing the threat, आपको 2 number examiner जरूर देगा. Maybe spelling mistake, grammar mistake is there, but he is able to understand what you are writing and you will be easily able to score 10 marks. I am saying that when we go for exam hall, exam में पहले पार्टी करना ऐसा नहीं है. If you think that this is the best question for me, complete this first. Increase your confidence in the exam. In 15-20 minutes you solve a 10 marks question and you are most probably getting around 8 to 10 marks out of that. 20 minutes में 8 number, 9 number आ रहा है, 10 number आ रहा है, fail कौन करेगा हमें? Initially in any exam, not only this, in any exam of the world, we should be doing those questions for first 1.5 hour, which can be done like this. अब वो whether it's a part B, whether it's a 10 marks question, 20 marks, objective type, that to different for different student. But we should be trying the paper like that. That will give you extra marks also, that will give you rank, because when we are satisfied in the beginning in the exam hall, the motivation is different. But if you half an hour, 40 minutes, you lost, you are not able to solve anything, then you are fully down. Then maybe balance 2 hours you will not be able to perform properly. अगर इंडिया को 400 रन्स बनाना है 50 ओवर्स में और पहले 10 ओवर में 4 जन आउट हो चुके हैं, तो सोचने के लिए इंडियन फेवर, इंडियन टीम फेवर, मैं सोचूंगा फिर भी बैलेंस बना लेंगे, फालतू बात है. If in 10 over we have not scored 100, maybe 1 down, we can't score 500, a 400 score in 50 overs. So that means that if you want to score rank or if you want to pass the exam, your starting should be very good. That you need to analyze when you do mock papers in 3 hours. You need to approach the mock paper in 3 hours in that manner only. ऐसा नहीं कि कुछ भी first. You approach that 3-hour paper which I said in 3 hours. जो मैंने बोला 2 आप करोगे, 1 मैं कराऊंगा, तीनों को वैसे ही करना. You think that you are sitting in the exam hall, don't use anything, don't refer anything, and follow the way you will be performing in the exam. Then you are very well prepared for the exam. Nobody can question that you will not be able to pass this exam. No tension will arise. Suppose I am doing this question. You are practicing. I mean you are practicing. लेकिन आप एथिक्स भूल गए हैं. यू स्टडीड, यू डिड द लाइव क्लास, यू डिड द रिकॉर्डिंग, यू फॉरगेट द एथिक्स. आप एक बार अपना नोट्स में जाइए या मेरे क्लास स्लाइड्स में जाइए, वहां एक बार उसको पढ़ लीजिए 10 मिनट 5 मिनट, उसके बाद इस क्वेश्चन को सॉल्व करिए. दिस यू नीड टू डू इन कमिंग 10 days. इफ समथिंग यू डोंट, बिकॉज मेरे को भी हो सकता है मैं भूल गया, because I am not an audit expert, as I always said. Okay, this is not a, you can say, very confident area for me. I am accounts, management accounting, finance, strategic decision making, all every area. Just that auditing and taxation I am not so much expert. But फिर भी मेरे को ऐसा लगता है कि अगर हम लोग एक्सपर्ट जैसे बिहेव करें कि नहीं मालूम है, फिर से एक बार पढ़ लेते हैं, then we do the question. Not that we read the question and read the answer. Don't do this 10 days, this thing. Revise the stuff, then do the question. Out of all the question, 20% question answer you will be writing, 80% you do without writing. Evaluate the back, what is the better written, what you can write. Make your notes on every question. If something is very good, copy paste so that on the day of exam, on 7th, 5th and 6th, we can revise those things. Because अब फिर से recording थोड़ी ना करने लग जाओगे, नहीं time है. I will say that in this, there are 2 more topics given. One is summary of ISAs. ये पढ़ना ही नहीं, आपको भी नहीं पढ़ना है. Because ISA number 202, 10-5, 10-5, 07701 नहीं याद रखना है हमको. If I remember, I can write. If I don't remember, I will write ISA. I will not write number. Financial reporting revision, I will be doing continuously in the coming classes when I will be doing questions. I can open IS1, IS2, IS, but like that you will not be able to understand those who have not studied accounts. So when the situation will be given in the question, I will be explaining through them. And I will be explaining all those financial revision things which is required in the exam in coming 2-3 classes. Don't worry. Question answers है यहाँ से, reference and employability, that is there. So I mean to say that follow the instructions which I said. Definitely you will be winning. Definitely you will be able to score very good marks in exam. कोई difficult नहीं है. There is no numerical calculation involved, nothing. It's a simple area, story type area. If we studied properly, then there is no problem of giving the exam and passing the exam. Okay? Leaving for today. From the next class, I will be going on the institute platform, practice platform, from there I will be doing everything. You all will be doing these things, I will be doing from there. Okay? Thank you to all of you. Take care. Study hard. Study with concept.